We got a fresh-looking Mike Storey, a sober Mike Storey on the program tonight. Super fun last time. Hatcher says, "What's up, professionals? We're gonna be professional tonight. Are we gonna actually keep it professional?"
Gonna keep it professional. Let me go ahead and apologize to everybody for last week. That was not my finest moment, but we are back and we are ready to talk the NFC East. Also, I don't know if anybody's a hockey fan, but looks like the Knights ended up winning Game 1.
Well, this is an American show. We don't talk about hockey. So, and also, Storey, you're talking the host that's drinking almost every night on the show. Like, the people are kind of numb to it at this point. You were fine. You were great. I mean,
little too much.
I always say this. I always say that 70% of Storey is 130% of everyone else, if that makes sense. Kind of a weird little math equation. But you at your less than best is still better than most people's best.
I'll take
that's
it.
The truth.
I'll take it.
That's the truth.
That's
damn straight.
Okay.
Yeah, USA does run hockey because Canada hasn't won a cup for like 30 years or something like that. It's wild. There are 6 Canadian teams too. It's super crazy.
They won't win one this year either. So
AFC East Storey. And before we get into that, we're going to do, everything AFC East, fantasy depth charts, projections, some sleepers, just go through ADPs and just kind of get the lay of the land of each of these teams as we've done in the previous 4 divisions. We're on our 5th division, Storey. We're getting to the better divisions here. We're going to end with some really good ones. But I want to talk to you about A.J. Brown. So I'm going to talk about the 2 trades. Let's lead it off with A.J. Brown. We all knew this was going to happen. I mean, I know there were some rumblings with the Jaguars, and I think the Rams were in that ring for a little bit, but we all knew it was going to be the Patriots, like 90% chance. It actually happened. So break it down to me in terms of impact. A.J. Brown, where he's going. Is it better than what it was with the Eagles? And also the impact on the Eagles, right? Because they didn't get any players this year. This was not a Brian Thomas for A.J. Brown swap. This is, Lemon and Stowers coming in and Devonta Smith. It's the Devonta Smith show.
It is the Devonta Smith show. There's questions about whether his frame is enough for him to be a true number 1 wide receiver. I think we're going to see the ascension of Devonta Smith into that number 1, top 12 type of wide receiver that we're looking for. I think it's good for Mekhi Lemon. It's good for eventually Jalen Hurts too. I mean, it's good for basically everybody on the Eagles team, and it's great for Josh Allen, right? There was questions about whether or not – not Josh Allen, Drake May. There was some questions when that they couldn't get over the hump without a number 1 wide receiver, and Diggs is gone. So who do they have? Romeo Doubs, right? Demario Douglas. Not a whole lot of playmakers on the wide receiver room. He's got 3 career 1,000-yard seasons. This should be wheels up for the New England Patriots offense. It's a prior to this, it was an ensemble cast. You got a number 1 wide receiver there in A.J. Brown.
Do you see this as addition by subtraction with Philadelphia? Because obviously the roster is worse today than it was yesterday, but it was the dynamics, right? The locker room stuff, the pressure that Jalen Hurts felt, and just all the rumblings and all the stuff with the media with A.J. Brown. So now you have less of that, and Devonta Smith is the exact opposite, right? He is a guy that should probably be louder in the room and demand more targets, but he's a professional. He doesn't sit there and just bitch and whine and read books. He's an actual dude. We love Devonta Smith. So it's almost like now, you remember how when Stephon Diggs, the last year Stephon Diggs was with the Bills, Josh Allen actually played better because he didn't have to worry about getting Stephon Diggs the ball. He just went to the full, I'm going to spread the ball around, whoever's open, I don't care. This is hopefully the case for Jalen Hurts. And also, they have much more talent on this roster than what the Bills had, that cast of characters that Josh Allen's had the last couple of years. You still have Devonta Smith. You still have a somewhat prime Dallas Goedert. You have Saquon Barkley in the backfield. We didn't mention Saquon. This is great for Saquon. This is Saquon in the passing game, right? Saquon going back to the running game. They're bread and butter. Run the football. Play action.
I mean, I wonder if this opens things up for Eli Stowers to be a fantasy factor in year 1 too. It's tough to say that with Dallas Goedert, as you mentioned, semi-prime Dallas Goedert there. Addition by subtraction, I think that's yet to be seen. I'm not trying to put all the faults of the Eagles offense on A.J. Brown and his demanding the ball. We did see, small sample size, but we did see when he started demanding the ball and they started targeting him 10, 11 times per game, they started losing games. Was that just randomness, or was that an actual function where, you get your star player the ball, but it's not actually matriculating the ball downfield, you're not scoring points? I don't know. It remains to be seen. I do put the 95% of the problems with the offense last year I put at the feet of Kevin Petrullo. So he's gone. It's a Sean Mannion offense. We've liked Sean Mannion for years. I don't know if it's addition by subtraction, but I don't think they're going to take a step back. If anything, they're going to rebound and be better than they were last year.
In terms of Stowers, I do like him. I don't like having a backup tight end on my roster. In a deep league, though, he is the definition of an upside play because there's a chance, like you mentioned, maybe he has a day one role and plays that, the role we've been talking about with Sean Payton, the Joker role in this offense. But he does fill that the rare handcuff, the Isaiah Likely to Mark Andrews role, where if something happens to Dallas Goedert, who's been known to get hurt, he's 32 years old, 31 years old, that's the kind of guy I want on my bench. That's the kind of tight end I want on my bench, right? Not one of these guys that's just going to sit there and just collect dust, essentially. But Saquon wheels up. Devonta Smith wheels up. What about the second receiver? Is it no one you can trust? Hollywood Brown, Wicks? It's just going to be a best ball only kind of situation with those guys?
Potentially. I mean, do you see anybody stepping up into that second wide receiver role as a fantasy factor?
Probably Wicks when Hollywood Brown gets hurt. That's the answer. If everyone's fully healthy, there's just not enough passing volume in that offense. And, the passing, what's the max that Jalen Hurts can throw this year? 26 touchdowns? Is that a ceiling? So now, you're splitting that too many ways.
Remember, passing yardage for quarterbacks has ticked down in recent years too. So what's his passing yardage output look like? What's the median there? 2,900, 3,100, something in that range?
Yeah, I could say maybe 3,200 with just a good season, but that's not enough of the pie, and there's too many guys eating from this very pie. Brotato says, do you think Deshaun Watson starts or do they start Shedeur? I'm leaning Deshaun Watson now, I think. Not that it really matters, but it does matter because for these receivers, also for best ball, I've been a Shedeur guy, and I hate Shedeur. I'm saying I was a Shedeur starting the year because they should do that. Start the young guy. They're going nowhere. Now, especially, think about it. We're going to get to the Myles Garrett trade here in a second. Now that he's off the team, if this team had any chance to win this year, it's gone now. We didn't think there was. I'm saying now there's no chance, right? They just lost the best player in football, the best defensive player in football.
To speak to what Brotato asked, I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. I don't think it makes a difference for these wide receivers one way or the other. I think both are equally bad, and it realistically will probably bounce back and forth. We'll hear Shedeur Sanders has the lead next week, and then next month it's back to Deshaun Watson, and then they're going to probably vacillate back and forth. And then would it surprise you to see Shedeur Sanders start the first three games, and then he plays poorly, so Deshaun Watson comes in and he plays poorly, and et cetera, et cetera? I think it's just going to be a headache all season long. I've got zero interest in that Cleveland offense outside of Quinshon Judkins.
I think the way to go about it, if you're smart, unfortunately the Browns aren't smart, but if they were smart, you start Deshaun Watson because he's the veteran, and you give Shedeur a couple. You give Watson 3 or 4 games, see how it looks, and then you go to Shedeur for the rest of the year. You can't start with Shedeur and then go to Watson and then go back to Shedeur, right? That would be it. So I think that's the way that they should go about it, in my mind.
Well, I agree with you because the franchise, Shedeur is the future. Watson is not going to be there next year. They're not going to pay him what he's going to make next year. So he won't be there. So I shouldn't say he won't be there. They might restructure if he plays well enough, and he could potentially be the future. So you're right. You start Watson, and when he inevitably ends up failing, then you go to Shedeur and you let him do everything he can over the last 11 games of the season. And if he's not the answer, then you draft a first-round talent next year, whether that's Arch Manning or Dante Moore or Lenore Sellers or whomever it is. There's plenty of options in next year's draft.
All right, let's talk about the surprise here. We all knew about the A.J. Brown trade. That's going to lead every single day in terms of the news cycle. This Myles Garrett thing, man, super, super, super surprising.
I need to talk to you about something, Dad.
Shoot, it's kind of disturbing. You two aren't banging, are you?
What?
No.
Talking about disgusting.
Yeah, it is. Stay away from that kind of thing. No good can come of it. Trust me. That's not what we're here to talk about. It better not be, because I don't want no grandkids. I am not banging my sister.
Jesus Christ. What have I walked into here? Oh, my God. You two aren't having sex together.
No.
I am not getting pulled into any sort of perverted sex talk.
It's not perverted. Banging your sister is perverted, Dennis. I am not banging my sister.
Wait, are they brothers?
Surprising.
Are they brother and sister in the show?
Yeah, they're twins.
Oh, and
Yeah.
And Danny DeVito is their dad?
Technically not their biological father, but he raised them as such, ended up being bastards. Anyways, Myles Garrett trade. We did not see this coming. The Rams, I saw a stat. They've made 3 first-round selections in the NFL draft in the last 11 years, and they're doing it again. And for some reason, they took Ty Simpson this year, which makes that pick even more head-scratching story. Like, what the hell, man? Take a linebacker, take another DN, take a defensive tackle, take a left tackle, whoever, anyone but Ty Simpson.
Mekhi Lemon, right? Like, Mekhi Lemon could have helped you. If Devontae Adams is, in fact, over the hill, Mekhi Lemon certainly could have helped you, or he could have helped you on the outside, too. I know they want to play a million tight end sets, but, yeah, I think this Garrett Wilson trade, while it won't be talked about, actually, I disagree. I think this is going to be talked about more frequently and for longer, because the A.J. Brown trade, that was writing on the wall. That was pretty much expected. People were, 90% sure that it was going to happen. It was just a timing thing. This one kind of came out of nowhere. There's a little bit of smoke last week, but realistically, this is, poor Jared Verse. The guy played well last year. He wasn't an all-pro, but he certainly played well last year. Now gets shipped off to Cleveland. That defense is, I guess it's good for the offense if you're talking fantasy, but in terms of like a team to beat, I don't know what the odds are for the Rams, but I guarantee you they went down to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, they're favorites. I think they already were favorites in the division, barely. Now they're not major favorites because you still have the Niners and the Seahawks. But Jay says, in my opinion, the Browns came up as a winner in this trade versus a good edge plus 3 draft picks. So the first rounder is 2028, which I actually kind of like for the Browns. I don't think it's 2027. Yeah, I think it's 2028.
Are you sure? Because the AJ Brown trade was.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm confusing. Okay, so 2027, which is a nice pick, and then they got a second and a third. What is it? It was.
I know there was a second.
It's a lot. It's a haul, man.
Yeah,
should have wrote that down, but it's a haul.
Yeah. What's his name?
And I'm a big fan of Jared Verse. Jared Verse is an older third-year player.
36, man.
He's only 3 years younger than Myles Garrett. So Myles Garrett has a lot left in the tank, guys. So the rest of the league has to be sick to their stomach that the Rams acquired the best player on the defensive side of the ball in the league. And he's hungry. He has never played for a contender. This is money. This is money, man.
Yeah, it was a first in 27, a second in 28, and a third in 29. I mean, that's one of the biggest trades in NFL history involving a defensive player. That is just
and Jared Verse, right? So Jared Verse is
and Jared
first round pick. So it's almost let's break it down like this. Jared Verse would be worth that, like, think of a 1-2 turn pick in fantasy, like not quite a first rounder, but better than a second rounder. So they got a first, almost another first, a second, and a third. That is major stuff. And Myles Garrett's well worth it, especially in a win now team with the Rams. But how does this affect? Is this affecting you at all? Not so much with Matt Stafford because he's a touchdown-driven dude, but the passing volume with Puka, with Devontae Adams, like, does this make you kind of lean towards JSN over Puka, or is it not changing at all for you? Because this defense is going to be so much better than it was already.
Either Stafford's still going to have it or he's not. Puka is not a huge touchdown scorer. He had, I think, a career high last year, but he's not Devontae Adams and the tight ends are kind of the red zone threat. So his game is not predicated on catching a ton of touchdowns. Neither is JSN's, but I don't think that Stafford, if he's falling off a cliff, like, that's it for everybody on the offense, realistically. If not, then the production still should be there, even if the passing rate comes, or the passing touchdown rate comes down, which we fully expect it to do, right?
What about the passing volume, though, Storey? Like, this should 50 less passes this year? I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but that's 10 less targets for Puka. I mean, if you think about it, they're going to be blowing some teams out. Like, it's going to be unreal. Their defense is actually forcing turnovers.
And they were still throwing the ball in the red zone. So I'm not really that worried about it realistically. Myles Garrett, sure, a couple of sacks, a couple of extra drives that end early, but realistically, this is just, I mean, it's good for the team in general. Like, it's going to be, I don't know. I don't see it as a bad thing for the offense. It doesn't make me want to go JSN over Puka Nacua. Like, JSN's, his efficiency and his target rate are really unsustainable, if you ask me.
I do like this for the running backs, Blake Corum especially, and I've already been a big Blake Corum guy, but dude, they're going to run the ball more. I mean, why wouldn't they? Why would they? And also, it's like, why put Stafford at so much risk of getting hurt, getting hit? And I know they're going to be aggressive. It's Sean McVay, but just think about it, man. Like they have no worries about missing the playoffs this year. I know they want to win that division, get the bye, but it's like, let's run the ball down teams' throats a little bit. Let's utilize the play action. He's still going to have the touchdown rate, like you said, but the volume will go down. And that's going to affect Puka. I'm not telling you not to draft Puka, but just little things, right? And also in terms of Deshaun Watson, if he's a starter, or Shador in terms of Cleveland, they're going to have to throw the ball more. This probably hurts Judkins a little bit. In my mind, helps Dylan Sampson because we love Sampson and playing from behind even more than we thought.
Potentially. Probably, I mean, like, okay, the best defensive player in the NFL, I get it. I just don't know that this team is going to be realistically competitive with or without Myles Garrett. And if they're not, you're going to get the same amount of volume for Dylan Sampson and Quinshon Judkins as you had before. I understand that Myles Garrett is by far the best player on the defensive side of the ball. I just don't know that it affects the team that much that you're going to it's going to cause you to move guys down rankings in fantasy football. The talent hasn't changed. The offensive line hasn't changed. The terrible quarterback play hasn't changed. The good quarterback play hasn't changed in Los Angeles. So I'm not really letting this affect my rankings.
Let's do one last comment here before we get to the AFC East. How decent do you think the offensive line is in LA? They didn't really address it too much. It's average. Would you say it's league average?
Yeah, probably like top 14, I'd say. It's better, slightly better than average.
That was our point about the Ty Simpson pick. Like, just take an offensive tackle because your offensive line is not great. It's not bad, but like you need depth. Depth is huge. So ask the Texans about that. Let's ask the Texans about having no depth in the offensive line, or even the Chargers last year when they lost Joe Alt and Slater. Like, just wild stuff. All right, let's go to the. Go ahead.
They didn't sign anybody of note. They didn't draft anybody of note to address the offensive line. They did lose what's his name? Havenstein. So they got a little, like, they were top 12-ish last year. So I would put them top 14. Like, they're probably going to be a little worse than last year.
JSN got all that run, but that's because he was the only show in town. There are other players on this Rams offense, right? There is Devontae Adams. There is 4 tight ends they're going to use where they didn't have any of that last year in Seattle. Aaron Donald coming out of retirement? I don't think so, but we've been hearing this for 2 years now. But it would be I guarantee Aaron Donald's still a top. What'd you say if he came in right now? Top 12 defensive tackle in the league?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he'd need to get in shape. I'm sure he's not in football shape anymore, but he give him a couple of months to get ramped up. I would be just as feared as I was on his retirement year.
Who's in better shape right now? Football shape right now? Aaron Donald or Brandon Ayuk?
How about Aaron Donald or Malik Neighbors? Did you see him running at the softball game last week?
Did he look fat?
He didn't look fat, but he looked hobbled, man. It looked like he was struggling to get to first base. You should Google it.
I don't know if I want to. I guess I have to.
I'd like to start out this press conference with a thank you to John Fox.
Mike is opening the window. He's getting a little hot in there. Yeah, we're about to get hot with this division. AFC East Story. Give me your first take on this division. I'm going to give you the odds to win this division right now. It's Bills minus 130, Patriots plus 130, and then plus 1,700 for the Jets and plus 3,500. They listed the Dolphins. They are listed plus 3,500, 35-1. The Dolphins to win this division.
It's a 2-man race, right? This is all about the Bills and the Patriots, the Jets and the Dolphins. The nice thing, if you're a fan of those teams, is even though they kind of feel like they're stuck in purgatory, permanent rebuild mode, at least with the moves they made this offseason, they seem to understand that this is a rebuilding year, or at least continues to be a rebuilding year. So New England and Buffalo are both expected to be contenders here. Drake May's coming off second-team All-Pro campaign. Huge season last year, right? 4,400 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions or something like that. And then on the other side, you got Buffalo with probably the best player in the NFL in Josh Allen. But they've got first-year head coach Joe Brady, young guy, 35 years old, a couple of years experience as offense coordinator, but a lot of pretty simplistic offensive scheme. So we'll see what happens. I mean, what more can you say? Like, it's a two-man race, realistically.
Yeah, I think it's the Bills, man. I think it's pretty clearly the Bills. I know the A.J. Brown trade is nice, but I don't know, man. That we're going to go through all the numbers here, but are we convinced that Drake May is that guy? We're like, I know that Josh Allen's that guy. I got an argument with Dakota a couple days ago. Surprise, surprise. We love you, Dakota. And he was trying to say Drake May is better than Josh Allen right now. And I'm just like, no, that's insane. That's absolutely insane to say. One awesome year. He played pretty well as a rookie as well, but that's like saying Jaden Daniels is better than Lamar was after his great rookie year.
Yeah,
like
I think you need at least 2 more years of high-end play from Drake May in order to anoint him the best quarterback in the NFL, or even the best quarterback in the AFC East. Even if Josh Allen dips by 20%, he's still probably a better overall quarterback if you consider rushing part of the game than Drake May, no?
Yeah, definitely in the short yardage stuff, right? That's the difference. I mean, I think they're both equally mobile, but Josh Allen is willing and proven to get the hard yards and know when and when not to run, where I think Drake May is still feeling that out. You saw that in the Super Bowl. I know that might have been the shoulder injury, but come on, Josh Allen is a god. So let's talk about the Bills here. 12-5 last year, 481 points forward, 365 points against. And that was with an injured Josh Allen. That was with the worst receivers in the league. Keon Coleman, what a flop. What they were running out there at the end of the year was just atrocious story. And it was literally a 2-man show. It was Josh Allen and James Cook. And they still have both those guys in their prime, but they have some other dudes, mostly DJ Moore, which doesn't seem like the sexiest name in the world. But I think it's a giant upgrade, and maybe Keon Coleman pops his head up a little bit. Jonathan says one awesome year for May with an easy schedule. The easiest of schedules. We're going to get into that schedule here in a second they had last year and their point differential. And this year is much tougher, but he does have A.J. Brown. I don't like to jump the gun, right? I feel like that's very ESPN to jump the gun and just say, that would, again, the Jaden Daniels thing. People were putting Jaden Daniels in their top 5. Wacky, wild stuff after 1 year. Wacky, wild stuff. I'm not doing it.
Is there a question there? Or
no, I don't know. I was just talking. Thank you, Jonathan. You're the dude. So, Josh Allen going quarterback 1, pretty obvious stuff. He's going ADP 31 right now in Underdog, where Lamar is going ADP 53, and then the next level of guys are in the 60s. So is this fair for Josh Allen to be, ranked where he is? Obviously, quarterback 1, but the ADP wise, are you pulling the trigger on Josh Allen there?
If I've got one league, probably not. But if I'm in a bunch of leagues and I want to diversify, that seems like a really fair ADP, especially a guy that can lap the field versus quarterback 6 or quarterback 4. The rushing is, that's the cheat code of cheat codes in fantasy. The guy calls his own number plenty in the red zone, the 10 zone, the 5 zone. So no concerns about that. The big question mark is, did they do enough to upgrade what was an underwhelming receiving room from last year? You mentioned it with Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, fine season last year. Realistically, nothing else there. Out the boundary wide receivers, they didn't get anything from those guys last year. Josh Palmer and Keon Coleman were combined for 700 yards. So it was an abject disaster. DJ Moore had also 700 yards last year, 50 catches or so, but he was competing with Rome Odunze and an ascending Luther Burden. So is DJ Moore past the age jetpacks, past the prime? Does he do enough to bolster that receiving core so that we feel comfortable about Josh Allen? I'm not so sure. I do like that DJ Moore's getting reunited with Joe Brady. That feels like a step in the right direction. Although you don't like to hear, I think Moore came out the other day and said that he's struggling learning the playbook. You never want to hear that from a guy who just got traded there. Did you hear this?
Yeah, I don't pay attention to those minor reports. I think the big question with Josh Allen, we all agree he's quarterback 1 this year in fantasy, and it's on the back of his legs, right? And we're expecting a better passing year this year. But last year, Josh Allen ranks among quarterbacks first in rushing attempts, first in rushing yards, first in rushing TDs, and first in expected rushing TDs. So I guess my question is he going to maintain this pace? Because I've been clamoring for years that Josh Allen has always beat the fuck up in the playoffs by the time the playoffs roll around, because he just takes too many hits and he plays through it all, and that's awesome. But he's never, I know not a lot of players are 100% going into the playoffs, but he's always 50%. And he always just guts it out. But the 14 rushing touchdowns, this is not the tush push. He's just running quarterback sneaks. He is running quarterback draws. On 3rd and 7, he is putting his head down and just taking punishment. So will he continue to do it? Because every year I say it's not going to continue to happen, and it keeps on happening. Is this finally the year you see a 30% decrease and maybe his passing numbers go up, which is fine. But his real, like, what makes him the best is the rushing stuff, right? That's what makes him the best.
That's what makes him the best, certainly. Now, the defense got better in the offseason, right? They traded for Bradley Chubb. They got C.J. Gardner-Johnson, D. Alford, Geno Stone. Like, they really made an effort to go all in on the defense. There are some lingering concerns about the switch from a 4-3 to a 3-4 look. That is going to change things up on the defense. Like, you're going to have a full offseason to implement a change, but does that change things up for, like, Jim Leonard, for example? Remains to be seen. If this defense can put it together, you know, they have some questions at linebacker, certainly, but the edge rushers and the cornerbacks, does that mean that Josh Allen gets to run less or has to run less? And at some point, is age going to start catching up with him? You mentioned he's always banged up going into the playoffs. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear he had a foot injury last year. If that continues,
he had a broken bone in his foot. I mean,
okay, well, there you go. So, and they lost to the Broncos. So, you know, the changes came very quickly afterwards, right? Hello, what's his name?
Can I correct you? They lost to the referees in that game. I feel like there's some questionable shit going on in that game.
I'm totally fine with Sean McDermott being gone. Josh Allen, Superman, superhero, but he literally can't do it all. So you have to hope that the DJ Moore trade is enough to kind of put this receiving room over the top, because, my God, you go back and look, like, he has just dealt with scrubs his entire career.
Yeah. TLC, baby. He wants to play that song, or doesn't want to hear that song anymore.
No, doesn't want to hear it.
Vacuum right now. Josh Allen, ADP 31, or Lamar Jackson, ADP 53. Who are you taking?
You get almost 2 full rounds of value, and you get a guy that's already done the regular season MVP thing, and that team looks like it took a step in the right direction on offense too. So, give me Lamar Jackson.
I tend to agree. I think the nice security blanket you get with Josh Allen is consistency. He has like 2 games a year, which are total garbage, like 140 yards and 1 touchdown, but he never misses games. Where Lamar Jackson, you have essentially, you can build in like 2 games that are missed. And then the problem last year was not the missed games. It was him coming back and being, you know, not himself. That's an issue. Let's move on to the running backs. James Cook, RB5, ADP of 11. Ray Davis is RB61, a guy we love. So I got a James Cook stat for you. So James Cook climbed from 24th amongst running backs in expected PPR points per game in 2024 up to 7th last year. He also climbed from 10th to 6th in actual points per game. So he was 6th last year in PPR points per game, which seems crazy because James Cook should catch a lot more passes than he does, but he just doesn't. They don't throw the ball. They throw the ball to Ty Johnson plenty. They throw it to Ray Davis actually who's in the game. They just don't throw it to James Cook. And it's weird because James Cook can run wheel routes. He can actually run routes. He's not just a check down merchant. But RB5 for James Cook, first round, end of the first round story. Are you fine with that? Would you take him over CeeDee Lamb? Like, how does this work for you?
Yeah, this one's pretty tough. I don't know what the loss of Reggie Gilliam is going to do for that running game, right? He probably played on a quarter of the snaps last year. He helped bolster the run game and James Cook last year to get the rushing. Who the hell's calling me? To get the rushing title last year. So I think I'm fine with it, but I mean, end of the first round seems a little pricey for James Cook.
Ashton Genty or James Cook in full PPR?
God, we did see Ashton Genty catch a lot of passes towards the end of last year. I think I'm going to go Ashton Genty.
Devin Achane or James Cook?
Devin Achane. That one's easy.
Ooh, no.
Full
not
PPR? No,
no,
full PPR.
I don't want to do that.
That's easy.
Saquon Barkley or James Cook?
At a cost, or what are we talking about? Because Saquon's cheaper, right?
Yeah, but in a vacuum. Who are you taking? End of the first round.
Saquon.
Kenneth Walker or James Cook?
James Cook.
Okay, so you're pretty much fair value there. Ray Davis, RB61. Can Ray Davis actually see some work outside of like garbage time and or an injury? Please. Can we just get 30% James Cook, Ray Davis? Can we just get
I am
that?
going to default to Ray Davis being the backup because he's a better talent than Ty Johnson. But if we start to see what we saw last year, which was in mop-up duty, it's Ty Johnson. In blowouts, it's Ty Johnson. When James Cook comes off the field because he hits the medical tent for whatever reason, it's Ty Johnson. If Ray Davis plays one snap again in an offensive game, then I can't in good conscience talk myself into Ray Davis being the backup there.
Oh, he's the backup. Ty Johnson's role won't change. Now he might go from 22% snaps to 30%. I know that.
There's no evidence to support that whatsoever. The fact that people keep saying Ray Davis.
The evidence is that I just said it. That's the evidence.
Okay. That's not evidence.
Dakota says DJ Moore over under 750 yards speaks volumes about Josh Allen. Dakota with his Josh Allen slander, which has never stopped since I've met him. He hates Josh Allen. I don't know why. The guy, just because he hasn't won, I mean, it sucks. But
DJ Moore's a year older, and he had fewer yards receiving than that last year. So I'd say that's a step in the right direction.
I'm smashing that over-under, by the way, with DJ Moore. He stays healthy. I'm smashing that over-under. So let's move on. In perfect segue to the receivers. DJ Moore, wide receiver 27. Khalil Shakir, wide receiver 54. And then you have the other two guys, which is they're deep. Keon Coleman, wide receiver 93, and Skylar Bell, our boy, wide receiver 97. So are you in on DJ Moore, wide receiver 27? That's roughly pick 55, 56 ADP, which is a fifth-round pick.
Yeah, I would need to have a pretty solid 1 and 2, right? I can't have
Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams, for example, or Devontae Adams as my 2. I would need to have a pretty solid 1 and 2 locked in order for me to pull the trigger on DJ Moore at that range. But if I did, sure, I'm all in on that.
What do you think the upside is to DJ Moore? So let's go upside floor here real quick. So is there a chance that he's a wide receiver 1 this year, or no, because how the Bills spread the ball around?
No, because of how the Bills spread the ball. I mean, it is a new offense, but still, I'm going to go with history here. No, because of the way they spread the ball around. Also, I don't think
15? Is it 15?
No, it's probably top 24.
Oh, Jesus. So there's no upside DJ Moore, you're saying?
Doesn't seem like it, but again, he's a pretty.
What is his floor? 36?
Yeah. Seems about
so
right.
That tells me if you're saying only 3 spots ahead, you're out on DJ Moore.
Maybe top 20. There's a little bit of upside there. Top 20 is his ceiling.
I think it's higher. I mean, we have to see, because with Joe Brady, there was 2 roles that DJ Moore played with the Panthers back-to-back years before the Bears. One role was essentially similar to what happened with Stephon Diggs the 2 years previous with the Vikings before he came to the Bills. And 1 year was Stephon Diggs averaging like 16 to 17 yards a catch and having only 60 receptions, but a lot of yards. And the next year the year prior was a PPR year. He had 90 catches and he only had like 1,000 yards. So we have to see. DJ Moore had the same kind of splits where like 1 year was like in the 50s for catches, but 1,000 yards. It was like 18 yards per reception. Then he had the PPR year with the same amount of yards, but like 80 something catches. So which one would you lean towards? Would you the kind of sacrificial X receiver who is just stretching the field and getting some deep shots, or a guy they're going to move around the formation? I know that's kind of Khalil Shakir's role and just, the intermediate short stuff. Or is it going to be all over the place? You just don't know what to expect week in, week out with DJ Moore. Because I prefer that. I want the wild card.
Yeah, I think you don't know what to expect week in and week out with DJ Moore. It feels like a pretty silly exercise to try to predict which wide receiver is going to be Josh Allen's number 1 wide receiver any given week. So
probably you're not Khalil Shakir then, because ADP 130, wide receiver 54.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the big question mark is, are they going to sign somebody else before the season starts? That worries me a lot. Deebo Samuel, Tyreek Hill. I know Tyreek Hill actually probably not going to be ready for the start of the season, but Keenan Allen, there's a couple guys out there that could wreck this entire wide receiving, and they could do more of a wide receiver by platoon, which is what we've seen plenty in the past. That's what worries me about this wide receiving core.
So there's 2 arguments to be made about Khalil Shakir. One is the ADP is awesome. Wide receiver 54 for the potential second weapon, depending on what happens in the tight end room for Josh Allen, which is awesome. And he has, the rapport with Josh Allen, which DJ Moore does not have. And the touchdown upside, right, of like 8 touchdowns just because you're tied to Josh Allen. This is going to be a good offense. The downside is he's a guy that we've seen disappear in games, have a lot of 3 for 25s, and like that's not good. I don't like that, and at the price I do like it, but it's also like, what does he do for you? Like, what is Khalil Shakir's upside? Is it some guy? Is it a guy you can trust in your lineup every week? I know he's not getting drafted as such, but that's the thing. So Skylar Bell and Keon Coleman. Are you writing Keon Coleman off? Is this over for Keon Coleman?
Yes.
He's gone.
You got to write both of them off. Like there's no. Why would it in a regular redraft? There's no point in drafting either one of those guys. They're the first guys off your roster. They're not going to contribute. They're just roster cloggers. It's done. It's done for Keon Coleman. It's going to take a while for Skylar Bell.
Okay, who is more likely to be a wide receiver 3 this year for fantasy, regardless of what it takes? Injuries, depth chart, snaps, regardless. Keon Coleman or Skylar Bell? Chance to crack top 36.
Skylar Bell.
I would probably agree.
It's a small chance, too. Like, I don't want to make it's like a 5% chance for him to be a top 36 wide receiver. There's just not enough volume, and there's not a role for him on this team yet.
All right, Dalton Kincaid. Let's go on to the tight end room, which is very important for this team. Dalton Kincaid is tight end 13, ADP 130. So I have a Dalton Kincaid stat for you. Dalton Kincaid's 2.79 yards per route last year was the best from a tight end with 40-plus targets since George Kittle's 2.84 in 2020. Dalton Kincaid was, I don't know the number off the top of my head. It was like 40% of the snaps he played last year. And he was so effective, scoring touchdowns. It was wild because, I'm a big snap share guy, and it just like the numbers he was putting up did not jive with the snap share. And I hate starting guys that, Darren Waller was like this last year with Miami, and I couldn't wrap my head around it because he was running like 15 routes and he had 2 touchdown games. Like, I can't do that in fantasy. I want my guys in the fucking field, Story. And Dalton Kincaid, A, they don't trust him blocking. B, he's always hurt. So it was a combination of the, not being on the field and running downs, which you want for your tight end, and also that chronic knee issue, which they say it's figured out. They say he's going to deal with it, though, too. So this is a nice price, though, right, with the kind of thin receiving room. Dawson Knox is a year older, who they do like. But what do you feel about this ADP 130 and tight end 13 for Dalton Kincaid?
It's terrible. It's a waste of time. Like, why are we even talking about Dalton Kincaid? Like, you ever going to –
Because the stat I just read to you, like, he is elite when he's on the field.
Yeah, but he's on the field 40% of the time. And I know the knee issue, et cetera, but he's another year older. And again, like, this team is trending towards 2 tight end sets as well. And so I'm not he might be on the field, but he's going to have target competition too. Plus, DJ Moore is a big addition to that to the receiving room. So, okay, he's going to go 2 for 20 most weeks. If I'm going to start a guy who's going 2 for 20, I want a guy who can potentially catch. Also, in his upside is 8 for 110 and a touchdown. That is not Dalton Kincaid. So I'm not even. He's crossed off. Like, unless he's free, literal last round pick, and he's backing somebody up on my team, I have no interest in Dalton Kincaid.
Dalton Kincaid or TJ Hawkinson, full PPR?
Oh, Dalton Kincaid all day long.
TJ Hawkinson for me, dog.
TJ
Let's answer a couple.
Yeah,
okay, we'll see. He's not dusty.
His nickname is Dust Bunny. He's the dustiest duster that's ever done.
Hey, Consuela came in there and cleaned out TJ Hawkinson. He's ready to go. Let's answer a couple questions, and I'm going to hit you guys with the intro after that. We're going to get to the Dolphins, which is we're all looking forward to talk about the Dolphins. We're going alphabetical order. OS says, I traded Casey Concepcion for DK Metcalf. Good trade. This is in Dynasty, I'm guessing.
I don't know. Like, is it Dynasty, redraft?
Dynasty. Well, it would be Dynasty.
I don't know. Would it be? Like, there's some people who...
Yeah, you would never trade Concepcion's wide receiver 54 and DK's wide receiver 36 in redraft, so you wouldn't...
I don't know. Some people value Concepcion a lot
stop questioning it. It's Dynasty. We're going Dynasty.
DK Metcalf.
We're going in Dynasty. We're going in Dynasty.
Metcalf is now the number 2 on his team, possibly the number 3. Like...
Which side do you want in a vacuum in Dynasty? The young guy, or do you want DK?
I don't like the hype that Concepcion is getting because he's going to be saddled with pretty bad quarterback play for a couple of years, but I'm going to go Concepcion side.
The Garrett trade was crazy. We talked about that earlier, Team Money, if you want to go rewind a little bit. Extraction says Sam Laporta, Jalen Koch, and Antonio Williams. Sam Laporta, I'm guessing it's Sam Laporta for Jalen Coker and Antonio Williams. That is a tough one because the different positions, right? We're going from the tight ends, and if you have wide receiver depth and you got Sam Laporta, you won the trade because Sam Laporta is 25 years old. If you're the Sam Laporta side, if you traded Sam Laporta and you had a Harold Fannin, for instance, then I like the Jalen Coker and Antonio Williams, but I prefer Sam Laporta. Give me a tight end.
It just depends entirely on if you're in a rebuild or if you're in a win now. Win now, I love the Laporta side. If you're in a rebuild, dude, Antonio Williams should be a top 36 wide receiver by next year.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that guy.
Yeah, well, you're wrong.
Oh, because he was awesome at Clemson.
It's a good spot.
You're wrong about TJ Hawkinson. All right, I'm going to hit you guys with the intro, and then we're going to come back with the Miami Dolphins. Just got to make a little Mike Vrabel joke, whenever I can. We're going to talk about the Patriots here in a second. So you got to get it in when you can, just like Mike Vrabel's got to get it in when he can. And real quick question for you about Mike Vrabel. Without the distraction on juggling two women, will he be a better coach this year? Now, he was a good coach last year because he had that locker room bought in. They went to the Super Bowl. But now he should be better, right? Without the distractions?
I don't know. Sometimes having that, trying to impress that side piece, maybe that's what gave him all his mojo. Right?
Yeah, especially one that worked in the NFL, right? Essentially as a reporter. So
yeah, exactly. He's got to, if he plays poorly, like she's all integrated into the NFL. That could be a problem.
Not anymore. She's not.
Well, not anymore. Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, let's not shit on her grave. But sorry about that. You're not in the NFL anymore.
It's your kids, Marty. Something's got to be done about your kids.
What do you mean?
Your daughter marries a black man.
That's actually not a big deal for me.
Yeah, me neither.
What? What? You really?
Yeah, I mean, well, what's wrong with that?
No, nothing. It's nothing. I guess. I think it's great. Congratulations.
I don't think I'm comfortable around you anymore.
Did you know peanut butter was invented by a black man?
Too late, Doc.
Do you know who invented peanut butter?
I should know it from the Seinfeld skit. It's what's his name?
George Washington Carver.
Yeah, George Washington Carver. Okay. And he was an African-American. I love how he says by a black man instead of an African-American, like politically incorrect. Team Money, the Rams or the Dodgers of the NFL at this point. They've been that for quite a bit of years because remember the Jalen Ramsey trade that worked out? Like they just keep on saying, we don't care about the salary cap. We don't care about draft picks. We're winning now. And it happened once. We'll see if it happens again.
Yeah, it's easier to do in baseball because you've got a massive roster, what do you call it? Like salary cap.
There is no salary cap. You can spend
there's no salary cap, but I'm saying like roster payroll. That's what I'm talking about. Discrepancy. Yeah. Number one, it's easier to do. Also, because of the postseason being 5, 7, and 7 games versus 1, 1, 1, potentially 1. Randomness plays a much bigger part in the NFL than it does in baseball.
That's what the Browns are hoping for. Get that randomness. Maybe we can make the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. Keep dreaming, Cleveland. Before we get to the Dolphins, we're going to get to the Dolphins in 1 second. I do want to give a shout out to Mike Storey for coming on the show, as always, for sure. He's the man. But to the Patreon bros, supporters, guys, we love all you guys. We appreciate you guys. If you're interested in joining this fine community, all these awesome people you see in here night in, night out, commenting, chatting, having a good time, join the Discord, join the Patreon to get in the Discord, support the show, and become a fanatic, become a professional with us. You get access to the Discord, community fantasy leagues. Guys, we're going to do about 7 or 8 redraft leagues. Starting to fill those now. Payments are going to be due in August. That's all on League Safe, but get your spot now. Play some fantasy against me, maybe against Storey, against Mouth, against Dakota, against all the people you know from this channel. Also, guest appearances on the show. We love having fans on the show. Come join us. Talk with me and Storey. Talk about George Washington Carver creating peanut butter. Talk about how Family Guy is awesome, and we love the cutaways. Also, guys, free merchandise giveaways. These hats, these Storey's nice shirt he's wearing, repping the gear. I'm giving that away every single month, a hat and a shirt to you guys. At my own cost. So you guys deserve it. Also, you do get access to the bet story. 96 and 58 last year. Player props. We're making money. You're gonna get Mike Storey's college picks as well this year, which he's kind of a college football guy. You're an NFL guy too, but you love college. You love the young boys. I'm sorry. He likes the young men. The young men. How about that? You like the young men?
That's still not ideal, but sure, it's better. Yeah. Got something in common.
Timing, dude. My timing is pretty fucking good. Anyways, Professional Fanatics. ProfessionalFanatics.com. Link in the description for the website. Get to the Patreon, sign up. I'll get you in there, and you can talk about Storey like in Young Men or whatever the hell we want. You know, my bad. You know, I got to keep it fun. Hey, Alan. Also, shout out to Downtown Sports. Check them out. 23 platforms. Link in the description for that. And those of you in the Patreon, got a little promo I'm doing for you guys. Refer a friend.
Ooh, nice.
It's all on there. Refer a friend. Get a free month free. Get 10% off a league. You guys know who you are. So why not? Why not build a community and also get yourself a little coin in your pocket for your support, which I appreciate. So let's move on to the Miami Dolphins. Hatcher says Rob is on a roll. Jesus, I get in those rolls sometimes, and a little offensive, just a little offensive sometimes. But that's what makes the show great, right? Make the show great again. Miami Dolphins. How did the Dolphins win 7 games last year, Story? How?
I don't know. I mean, 347 yards or 347 points scored. I honest to God don't know. Like, you go back and you look at Tua, like that feels like one of the worst draft picks of recent memory. I think that the only won double digits twice during his tenure there. They had 1 playoff appearance. It's bad. I mean, it was bad in all things considered. 7 wins feels like a Super Bowl victory for that team.
Yeah, and they won them when it didn't matter. Remember how they were like, I think they were 1-6 to start, and the season was over. McDaniel saved his job, and they won those games for no reason. Typical Dolphins. What a bad franchise. Malik Willis, you mentioned 347 points forward, 424 points against. So the defense actually wasn't as bad as you might have thought. Malik Willis, quarterback 21, ADP 130. This is on Underdog, so he's not really drafted in most redrafts. What's the appeal with Malik Willis? Is it strictly in a 4 for a passing touchdown league, and you're going to get a guy that's, in my mind, I think could rush for 1,000 yards? I know everyone else disagrees with me, but that's his upside, is 1,000 yards and 8 rushing touchdowns, 10 rushing touhdowns. But through the air, it's going to be rough. There's no one to throw the ball to. It is real rough. You saw in the intro, I had a picture of Tom Hanks in Castaway. Just he's sitting there in the practice. There's no one even running routes. He's like, what am I supposed to do? No one blocking for him. It's all you, Malik. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, there's nothing for this team to do but go through OTAs, minicamp, and training camp and just let the season play out as it may. If Malik Willis is a guy, we should see flashes of upside. You know, his 79% completion percentage over his 3 starts / 6 appearances with the Packers, that's real nice. We want to see that. I mean, both Sullivan and new coach Hafley got a really good look at him when they spent time at Green Bay, so they saw something they liked. The nice thing is also there's an easy out for them after this year. If Malik Willis isn't the guy, it's going to be a little pricey, but you could certainly get out from under it. And then 28, there's almost no reason that he would be on this roster if he's not the guy. So they're not really putting a whole lot around him right now. A lot of draft picks, but there's no reason to go out and like sign free agents. You know, all those draft picks should make the roster. They're better than a lot of guys on there. But yeah, there's not a whole lot to throw to here. This is going to be, I don't know how they score 347 points again.
I don't know how they scored 247 points. But that being said, Malik Willis could still be a valuable superflex quarterback or best ball quarterback because the rushing. It's all about the rushing. I cannot wait. I've been saying this for the last month. I cannot wait to smash Malik Willis weekly rushing props every week because he's not going to be throwing for many. What's his over-under typical passing games going to be what, like 147.5, something like that they're going to set it at? Because it can't be higher than that. Who's he throwing the ball to?
Yep. Nope. I don't know that there's going to be much more than that. So you take the rushing upside as long as the value's there.
All right. Devin A-Chain, RB8 Story. And I got a couple A-Chain stats for you. We got to discuss this one. I think we might disagree on this. So Devin A-Chain led all 51 running backs with 90-plus carries last year in yards per carry, yards after contact per carry, and Pro Football Focus rushing grade. So led all 51 running backs there. On the flip side, which is the biggest issue for fantasy, is A-Chain converted just 5 of his 22 carries, which is 22% inside the 5-yard line into touchdowns over the past 2 seasons. NFL average is 43%. So Remember when Tyreek Hill was questioning why they gave Devin Achane the ball? That's why, because she's not a goal line back. They should be using him on the goal line. And RB8, I'm out. I am out for many reasons. Are you in full PPR?
Yeah, I'm in full PPR. I think you have to be in. He's done it with volume. He's done it with efficiency. You put them both together, he's got top 3 upside, even on a really bad offense. He's not coming off the field. Maybe you give out
what?
Yeah.
Oh, top 3 upside.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, have you seen what do you know what the recipe is for a top 5 running back?
Yeah, I know.
The recipe is not to be on a bottom 5 offense. The recipe is not to have a scrambling quarterback when you're a pass catching guy.
There are no guys that get the kind of volume with the kind of efficiency that Devin Achane gets. There's nobody in the NFL. This guy's a unicorn. And might get a little bit more Ollie Gordon goal line work, but that's not where that's not where Achane scores anyway. He scores from outside the 20. So I like it. I like it at 8. I like it at 5. If he was up at 5, I do think he's got top 3 upside.
You want to take him over Saquon Barkley this year in full PPR?
He could realistically catch 75 balls this year.
Actually, he hasn't. I don't have his numbers in front of me, but I don't think he's caught over 80 balls in a year ever. So he's going to do it this year with Malik Willis, who rushes as a run-first quarterback?
He realistically could catch 75 this year.
I could realistically lose 40 pounds, but I'm not going to fucking do it. Like,
what are we
talking about?
I mean, who else is going to catch the ball there? Tutu Atwell? Caleb, what's his name?
Caleb Douglas.
Yeah, thank you. Jalen Tolbert.
So here's my worry with Achane. I think he's my biggest fade this year is he's 188 pounds. He's had very, very good injury luck outside of his rookie year. Due to get injured. I'm not bet. I hate doing this and like predicting injuries, but I'm going to do it. So you have that, which is a problem. You have a really, really bad team that's going to win 3 games this year. They just signed him to a contract. He's part of their future. Why would they run him into the ground all year? And also, why would he be on the field week 13, week 14, week 15, week 16? Why?
Teams don't play like that. Teams don't think about, our team is out of it, so we're not going to play. Look at what Jaden Daniels did last year. Look at Joe Burrow. We talked about that repeatedly. True. Teams don't think like that. Regardless, like Hafley's got to play for his job too, right? He's got to put the best guys on the field because if he wins 1 game next year, do you think Miami's going to keep him around for a second year?
Blake says Achane had 78 catches in 2024. Who was the quarterback story?
Good catch, Blake.
What, I said he's never had 80, and I think he's never had 80. That was with Tua. Dude, Tua can't do anything. He just checks the ball down every time. Like Malik Willis doesn't check the ball down. He pulls the ball down.
Okay. And
I think Devin Achane is going to have about 55 or 60 receptions, which is very good in PPR. It's very good. How many touchdowns are the Dolphins going to score? Like, so he is a guy that's capable of scoring from any part of the field. I understand that. But like, if I'm the defense, I am taking away Devin Achane. I'm going to say, hey, guess what? Chris Bell, if you're ever playing, you're going to beat us. Malik Washington, Caleb Douglas, Kevin Coleman, Greg Dulcich. Hey, you beat us. Malik Willis, you beat us with your arm and not checkdowns.
Well,
that's my worry.
You take away Achane and you force him to do what? Pull the ball down and run. What's Malik Willis's strength? It's running the ball. You got to keep a spy on Malik Willis. That's one fewer guy in that front 7. That's less punishment. That's more opportunity. It's bigger holes. All those kinds of things lead to more opportunity. This is the rushing quarterback upside is when it comes to, they open up lanes for these running backs. Like a rushing quarterback, you have to be concerned with that. So,
and he already is a very efficient running back. I understand all that. So I guess I'll put it like this. I see Devin Achane as a very good floor play. The upside, so Jay says Achane over Barkley. It's not even close. We just saw Saquon Barkley 1 year removed for having the best fantasy running back season, like not of all time, but almost. True or false?
True.
Does Devin Achane have that ability this year?
Well, does he have the ability to rush for 2,000 yards? No, he doesn't. But
does he have the ability to have 2,000 total yards and 15 touchdowns?
Yes.
15 touchdowns. Devin Achane.
Ken, who's scoring touchdowns? You mentioned Greg.
Nobody's scoring touchdowns in this team.
Like 320. If they only score as many points as they did last year, 347 points. Do you think that's all coming on field goals? Somebody's gonna have to score touchdowns there.
Yeah, Malik Willis is gonna have 10 rushing touchdowns, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. You're not worried about the shutdown factor at all?
No, I'm not. People talk about that all the time. The only coach that's ever been good at that was Bill Belichick.
I'm not saying like he's totally healthy, but he's going to get dinged up. You're saying all this volume. He's 188 pounds, little ankle injury here. We're just shutting. Week 14 comes out. We're going to roll with Ollie Gordon. I don't know.
Fine. I mean, maybe, but like, I don't know what the contract situation is for HN. He doesn't want to come off the field. I can guarantee you that, regardless of the fact that he signed a 4-year deal.
I guess we'll agree to disagree. We'll see how it goes during the season. But, I mean, maybe 8's fair. I'm not looking – I just don't want pieces of this offense, right? And that's I'm just going to avoid it. Like, I want to go with tried and true teams that I trust that have elite upside based on scoring touchdowns and, like, being, ahead in games and having a quarterback that's not just going to run the ball every time. Ollie Gordon, RB76, though. This is nice because this is a handcuff. We thought that when they drafted your boy that retired,
Jalen Wright. Oh, Le'Veon Moss.
Yeah, Le'Veon Moss. And now he's gone.
That was a big swing and a miss on my part.
Ollie Gordon's good. He should get the goal line work with what I just said. I read, so that's a guy to keep an eye on. Is he a true handcuff for you? I know he's going way after the other handcuffs, but you're in a deep league, worth a shot, right?
Yeah, I think you got to kind of you're not going to keep two Dolphins backup running backs on your roster, so you kind of plant your flag on either Jalen Wright or Ollie Gordon. And the evidence seems to point to Ollie Gordon being the backup there. Now, we do get this wrong in the fantasy community all the time. We saw one game last year where Jalen Wright ended up being the guy. But I'm still going to throw my chips in on Ollie Gordon.
Dakota says, if A-Chain is going to score 3 TDs, how many is Gordon scoring? Did I say he was going to score 3 TDs all year? I didn't say that.
3 TDs a game.
Yeah. Dude, I can see a world where Ollie Gordon scores 50% as many touchdowns as Devin A-Chain, right? Like, he's at the goal line back. I mean,
yeah, but he wasn't last year. So what's going to change?
Oh, he got some goal line touchdowns. He scored a goal line touchdown against the Bills on that Thursday night football game.
Goal line touchdown. Goal line touchdown.
Yeah. Check it out. Okay, let's move on to the wide receivers because this is a messy situation.
No.
Chris Bell.
No.
These are all
no.
These are all guys that are not even getting drafted. But let's chat them out because there's got to be someone that can get some value in deep leagues here. Chris Bell, wide receiver 79. We don't know when he's coming back. I would guess mid-season at earliest. We have Malik Washington, wide receiver 80, and then these other two guys I didn't even write down their ADP. Caleb Douglas and Kevin Coleman. Caleb Douglas is Texas Tech product rookie. Kevin Coleman is out of Missouri. You prefer Kevin Coleman here?
Yeah.
Or is it neither?
I mean, I do still prefer Kevin Coleman. Go back and watch the tape. Probably a better prospect.
Is it worth taking shots in these guys in super deep leagues? You know what I mean? Like, because Malik Washington's a gadget player. He's never going to be anything more. I've seen it before.
Yeah.
When they traded Jalen Waddle, his snap share didn't increase. That is the number one telltale sign for me. When you have a guy like that, when he was a 50% snap player, and you're like, okay, Jalen Waddle's gone, Tyreek Hill's hurt, and he only moved up to like 60% of the snaps. Like, there was no one there last year, just like there's no one there this year. So, like, can you make the case that Malik Washington's the actual number one here, like in terms of snap share and routes run and targets?
Probably, but that really doesn't mean much for fantasy football. I mean, these guys are going to be rotating through it. It'll be Jalen Tolbert 1 week. It'll be Tutu Atwell. It'll be Kevin Coleman, week 5, and then he'll disappear. You need to have several weeks of sustained production in order for me to feel comfortable putting any of these guys in my lineup.
Greg Dulcich, tight end 30. Hey.
If you're in a tight end premium,
this is like a poor man's TJ Hawkinson league.
Right, if you're in a tight end premium, or not even a tight end premium, but a 2 tight end league, I guess you could do worse.
Hey, my home league, one of the 2 I commission is 2 tight ends.
Okay.
It's a 10-team super flex, and I have 2 starting tight ends in there. So you have to really think about it because 20 are started every week. So it makes it actually deeper than a normal league. And Greg Dulcich might be a great pick for that league. Same. I'm gonna roll with Greg Dulcich and TJ Hawkinson as my starting 2 tight ends. People are gonna laugh at me, and they're gonna have 140 catches combined.
Cool. I hope that works out.
It's gonna work out because I'm gonna get him in the fucking 14th round.
I hope it works out.
It's going to. Okay, New England Patriots, 14-3 last year. Can you believe that what I just read, 14-3? Is that wild?
Go. I mean, give us the points for and points against. I know what it is, but
490 and 320. So they were
Right.
just blowing teams out too, blowing them out.
This is a team who, after a stunning run, in the regular season and in the playoffs, they fell way short, but they didn't rest on their laurels. They signed a lot of guys on both sides of the ball. Obviously, trading for A.J. Brown, trading for Romeo Duggs. They traded for our boy, Kevin Byard, out of Chicago, Draymond Jones, Elijah Vera Tucker. I think one of the biggest additions, though, is Reggie Gilliam, the fullback that we talked about during the Bills. Yeah.
Yeah, heavy packages. We'll see what the running back situation is. Drake May, quarterback 7. This might move up with the A.J. Brown signing. ADP 71.
Wait a minute. No way he's only quarterback 7. Are you kidding me?
What do you think he was? Quarterback 5?
Quarterback 3. Like, with how he played last year, 31 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, 4,400 yards. How is he only quarterback 7? That is wild to me.
They're all okay. So they're all going right in the same spot, but that's current underdog. When I looked, so it's Caleb, it's Caleb, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, all going in the same range.
What? Give me. So I know 1 and 2. Give me 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 in order, because I cannot wrap my head around Drake May being the 7th quarterback being drafted in underdog.
Let me check it out for you, and I'll give you the exact ADPs. So we have Jalen Hurts has now jumped Drake May. That's what it is. So this is 4 for a passing touchdown. We have Josh Allen at 1, Lamar Jackson at 2, Joe Burrow at 3, Jaden Daniels at 4, Caleb Williams at 5, Jalen Hurts at 6, and Drake May at 7. Why is Caleb Williams going ahead of Drake?
I can't believe
that's the
Caleb
question.
Williams and Jalen Hurts are being drafted over.
I understand Jalen Hurts a little bit because he's been so elite in fantasy, but like Caleb Williams wasn't last year, and this is a projection. Jaden Daniels we saw had an elite year, but I probably want Drake May over all those guys, and Jaden Daniels is like a wash for me.
Yeah, I'm right there. Joe Burrow and Drake May feel very similar, but give me the guy that's done it for multiple years. Also, Joe Burrow gets injured a lot. So I don't know if that's a consideration we should be taking into account. Jaden Daniels, you get the rushing upside there, so it does kind of feel like a wash. Maybe in 6 points for passing touchdown, you lean Drake May. But yeah, quarterback 7. Give me Drake May all day long.
Dak Prescott, thank you, Derek. Dak Prescott should be in this discussion as well. So here's how I'd kind of phrase it. This is always what I like to do is, I'm a tier-based drafter, and there is a tier of these. Let's also call it 6 for a passing touchdown where Dak gets into this conversation more. And so does Joe Burrow. So after, Lamar and Josh Allen are in a tier of their own, just based on their past history and just their skill set. But let's put Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Jalen Hurts, Drake May, and Dak Prescott. You could even throw in Justin Herbert, but I'm not going to. So those 6 names, you don't want to be the first guy to take a quarterback from that group. You want to be more one of the last guys. I'm fine with all those guys as long as they're at value, right? So you let the first guy go off, and you get the 6th guy or the 5th guy or the 4th guy around later.
Right.
That's what I want to do.
I
think I'm comfortable with all these guys.
Yeah, you just got to be careful because we'll see in leagues where sometimes it goes on a quarterback run. You might be that first one might go just before you, and you have a long wait around, and then all these guys go. Now you got to drop down a tier. I'll be honest, I'm not really comfortable with Dak as my QB1 in redraft. There's just too many things that can go wrong for him, and we've seen go wrong for him. I would rather take any of those top 7 at value over Dak.
Well, Dak's going the latest of all of them, so I think the biggest thing I do is that's kind of a tier for me, and I prefer Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels. Those 2 in particular, those are going the highest, but I won't draft them as such. And if you do, and I do so many leagues, but if you do 10 leagues, right, you will see the order be so much different in all 10 leagues. So I'm just going to wait, and there's going to be a draft where Joe Burrow goes quarterback 6. There'll be a draft where Joe Burrow goes quarterback 3. There'll be a draft where Caleb goes quarterback 4 because you're playing with Big Ray, for instance. But you also might be able to get Caleb at quarterback 8, quarterback 7. Someone might even take Herbert over Caleb Williams. So that's value-based drafting, right? And when you're doing on tiers, I don't see the difference between any of these guys because end of the year, maybe, but week to week, they're quarterbacks. They're all going to score points, and the difference is 1 or 2 points, right? It's just you don't want to if you miss it on that tier, now you're looking at Trevor Lawrence, Mahomes, Jackson Dart, Brock Purdy, which I like those guys as well, but way more inconsistent and more questions there.
Yeah, I think I need to talk myself into drafting a quarterback earlier nowadays because the value has been suppressed. 10 years ago, we saw quarterbacks being drafted in the first and second round on a regular basis. Now your first quarterback's coming off the board in the third round, and you can get Drake May in what, 6th round? Yeah.
All those guys in the 6th round.
Right. And so there's plenty of question marks on the players going in the 6th round, so you might as well take a stab at a quarterback who was very productive last year.
Let's talk about the running backs and the Patriots. This is interesting. So we have Travion Henderson, my worst enemy. This guy's a bum. Running back 20, ADP 48. Ramondre Stevenson, running back 28, ADP 75. So you're almost getting a 30-pick discount on Stevenson. The Hendy thing isn't a bad price, though, because it's baked in with the fact that draft capital, the younger guy, the more athletic guy. But why are they should be going back-to-back, or at least like, Hendy should be going like 55 and Stevenson should be going 70, something like that. This is a big gap.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Henderson side of things, where I think that he was being overvalued quite a bit. Stevenson, a much better value. But if you want true upside, like a guy that can round into it, it is Travion Henderson. That he's extremely explosive. You give him enough carries, eventually he's going to start breaking those off. So I do worry about kind of missing the boat on the Henderson breakout a little bit, but realistically, push comes to shove, I'm going to take Stevenson at value. Side note, did you see during that softball game also there was a comedian who hit like a bloop single and he tried to go into second and he basically took out Travion Henderson, took out Ramondre Stevenson.
Really?
And his knees went like that. But he popped up immediately, so it looks like he's fine.
Story, you keep on asking me if I'm watching this softball. Fucking softball game? What are you talking about, man? Like, why would I be watching softball?
It's a charity softball event, and like half the players are NFL players, so I figured you would have heard about it or seen it. There's tons of stuff going on around online.
You knew about the epic locomotive coming by my house today. You know all this stuff. And
Did you watch that thing? Did you go out and watch that big boy go by?
I saw it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I heard it. It was awesome.
Pretty cool. It's this fucking locomotive drove war goods back and forth across the country, starting in 1941 for 4 years. It's one of only like 5 that were ever made, and it's the only one left in existence. This is a huge deal.
Yeah, it was between that and Muhammad.
Why the fuck would it be between that or Muhammad? Why don't you just pick a common name like a normal person?
Muhammad is the most commonly used name on earth. Read a fucking book for one.
Good use of that.
So, let me give you some names for Travion Henderson in this range. So, Cam Scatterbo or Travion Henderson?
Cam Scatterbo.
David Montgomery or Travion Henderson?
I think I'm going to go with... That was a weird sound, wasn't it? That
was fucking weird.
I think I'm going to go with Henderson.
You, dude, over the starting running back in the Texans with no competition?
He's got a Woody Marks problem.
The tent has a Woody Marks problem. He keeps on pissing in it. DeAndre Swift or Travion Henderson? Similar situations there.
Swift.
Wow, that was a quick Swift. Bucky Irving or Travion Henderson?
And I'll tell you why. Because you look at Monungai's yards per route run last year, he overperformed in a lot of metrics, and it should be more of a Swift show. What was the next guy?
Bucky Irving. That's another tough one.
That one's really I don't like the vibes there. I'm gonna go with Henderson.
Quinton Judkins or Henderson. So you're out on Henderson because in the one name you should have been all about with David Montgomery, which is the easiest smash this year. You're not about. Josh Jacobs. We want Josh Jacobs if everything gets clear. Javonte Williams. I'm guessing that's it. Jadarian Price.
I want Henderson over Javonte Williams.
You.
Mm-hmm.
That's a losing strategy. Losing strategy. Jadarian Price or Travion Henderson? Making more noises, dude.
I know.
Now I'm going the other way. This is Travion Henderson all day over that guy.
It's Henderson.
Yeah. Okay. So you're kind of lukewarm on the ADP. I am off Henderson.
I know you're off. You have been off on him for a long, long time. But I understand why people are interested in where he's going. He did flash upside last year. The I mean, how much can we? I don't know. Like, I don't want to say don't read too much into the playoffs and the split, but man, that was a pretty stark split last year.
Yeah, and those games kind of mattered, I hear. So,
yeah,
maybe.
But I mean, those are games on the line. You've got a 17-game season. I think they're going to be much more willing to spread the ball around.
The nice upside here, though, on both these guys is it's not the Bucky Irving situation. This is, I'm not going to guarantee it. It looks like a two-man show. We like two-man shows. We can deal with two-man shows. We can't deal with three-way committees. We can't. I won't. I refuse to touch that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was a one-man show with Stevenson the year before. If he had just played
in the playoffs, it was a one-man show.
Well, if he had just played the way that he did in the playoffs, they probably wouldn't have drafted Travion Henderson. They probably wouldn't have needed it.
Playoffs? You talking about playoffs?
Yeah,
We're just trying to win a game. All right, let's move on to the wide receivers. Now we have A.J. Brown there. A.J. Brown is wide receiver 10, ADP 24, so with a 2-3 turn. Romeo Doubs, wide receiver 50, and now we have a bunch of guys after that. I think we're going to assume that Keyshawn Booty's traded, but right now he's in the roster. Pop Douglas, Kyle Williams, Keyshawn Booty. Romeo Doubs at wide receiver 50. Let's start there.
Yeah, they paid him a lot of money. Like, the A.J. Brown trade is huge, obviously, but they paid him 4 years, $68 million. Right, that is a $17 million.
Hold on a second. I got to address this guy. So Jay loves Henderson. Henderson has more upside than all running backs Rob mentioned. Yeah, I'm not debating that, but like, unfortunately, upside is just like a fictitious. Like, we all understand what it is, but what about the downside? What about the what's most likely to happen, which is a 50-50 split? Like, all those guys have way better downsides than Travion Henderson. And like, sometimes we can't just keep on drafting for upside, because if we draft for upside and all of our team for upside, we end up with players like Christian Watson and Jamison Williams, and just like week to week, we have, weeks we score 190 and then the next week we score 80. Like, we have to have some stability here. And Travion Henderson is not that. Now, the price point isn't terrible. It's a 4th or 5th round pick, but like, we can't ignore the elephant in the room, which was the 2025, not fantasy playoffs, NFL playoffs, which matters. And that was fucking awful. He wasn't on the field, Storey. He was a milk carton.
I'm well aware. I'm just saying, over a 17-game season, I feel like they're going to be much more willing to split work. So
yeah.
But the problem,
what you just said though is willing to, like, I don't want to hear split work. I don't want to hear it.
Everybody's in a split backfield except for
David Montgomery is not splitting shit.
He's got a Woody Marks problem, right? Woody Marks was fairly inefficient, but he got a ton of work last week. That's going to sideline this guy.
A Woody Marks problem, like, for real? Like, Woody Marks is not good. I like Woody Marks. He's not very good. Ramondre Stevenson is trusted and very good.
David Montgomery's not going to get a 90% opportunity share. That just doesn't exist for him.
Jay loves Henderson. He says rookie stats, he was equal to Gibbs. Yeah, he had 3 really long runs, and I don't know, man. Like, stats are misleading, and Travion Henderson was bad last year. He was bad. He was not trusted. He couldn't block. He wasn't catching passes. He was bad. Straight up bad. I didn't like him coming out. I've been saying this forever, but it gets me all.
You are comfortable missing out on the upside then.
Oh, I'm downright excited.
You know what really grinds my gears? This Lindsay Lohan. Eh? Lindsay Lohan with all those little outfits, jumping around there on stage, half naked with your little outfits. You know? You're up there jumping around, and I'm just sitting here with my beer. So, what am I supposed to do? What do you want? Are we going to go out? Is that what you're trying to... Why are you leaping around there, throwing those things all up over there in my face? Huh? What do you want, Lindsay? Tell me what you want!
So before I interrupted you about Romeo Doubs, I do apologize for that story. Wide receiver 50, the money you were mentioning. This should be good stuff, right? No real tight end there?
I mean, Hunter Henry, like, he was fine. He's an integral part of that offense. I will say that. With A.J. Brown, I think they've got the talent at wide receiver now, right? Like, Diggs had 1,000 yards last year. I'm fairly confident that A.J. Brown, he's got 4 1,000-yard seasons in a row. Fairly confident that he can replicate that. So it was an ensemble cast with Diggs kind of being the leader there. But, Henry had 750 yards receiving last year. He's certainly no slouch. I mean, this has been an excellent offseason from an offensive standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, bolstering both sides of the ball. They've got an excellent duo now with Brown and Dubs, and it's going to allow Henry to continue to work underneath. Feels like a step in the right direction.
Any world that Pop Douglas kind of takes over that stuff on Diggs role, I know that like Romeo Doubs is going to move around. He'll kind of take over that. But essentially what we're going to have if Booty gets moved is A.J. Brown going Booty plus role, the Booty plus. And they're going to have Romeo Doubs kind of, mixing in all over the field. And Douglas will be their slot guy, which was a pretty nice role last year. Now, he's not Stephon Diggs, but I do like Pop Douglas. And he's not even listed at ADP. He is so far down there. And I think we need Keyshawn Booty to be traded for me to like really be about Pop Douglas in a deep, deep, deep format.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in anybody beyond the top two.
I'm more speaking of best ball purposes, okay. Right? Like last round.
So you were saying like who's going to take over the Diggs role? Dubs?
No, I think Dubs is going to be kind of the wild card moving all over the field. I think that Douglas will take over that role.
Because Romeo Doubs has almost played like basically exclusively on the outside. So, and that Diggs role was like 50-50 outside and inside. So if you might have like a few games where Booty has big numbers coming from the slot or moving around outside, whatever. But A.J. Brown as the true X and then Doubs as the flanker. He's not a slot flanker, but that doesn't leave a whole lot for the third wide receiver there. So I'm not really interested in any of these guys on a redraft beyond Dubs. I think is a fine value, and AJ Brown. I don't know where he's going now. I think that the news is probably already baked into his ADP.
Yeah, wide receiver 10, and he was going later than that, but I already assumed he was going there. So right at the 2-3 turn. Usually it's like kind of in the JSN range from last year. So pick 28.
Okay, so.
It's fair.
I'm fine with both of the values on AJ Brown and Hunter Henry. You could do worse in a tight end premium.
You know what? I have some stats to read for you. I didn't read for the Patriots, so let's talk about these stats real quick. And Drake May these are his ranks among 42 qualifying quarterbacks last year. First in completion rate, first in yards per attempt, third in average depth per target, fourth in adjusted completion rate, first in completion rate over expected, and fourth in PFF pass grade. Dakota, if he's still watching, he's just stroking himself to this because he loves Drake May. This is porn for him. Also, Drake May's 8.9 yards per attempt last year was a 17th best mark in NFL history, minimum 300 attempts. Are you buying into this, or is this a product of that easy schedule, or kind of a combination of both?
I think it's a little from column A, a little from column B. Probably more so I'm buying into it, though. Like the schedule, obviously, is going to be a lot more difficult this year, although it's not as grinding as, say, the Bears is. But Drake May leveled up last year. I expect him to take another step forward this year. He's been very good. I'll tell you what, though, watch them come out. Watch Mac Hollins catch the very first touchdown of the Patriots season, and everybody freak the F out. You know what I mean?
And he's going to do it fucking barefoot. Barefoot and bare ass.
I forgot.
All right. I got some running back stats for you that are going to kind of clear up this argument, or at least based on last year. Stevenson led all 51 qualifying running backs with plus 1.36 rush yards over expected per attempt. He also ranked top 5 in yards after contact per attempt and missed tackles forced per attempt. And then we go to the other side here. Travion Henderson ranks. These are his ranks among 40 running backs with 30-plus targets last year. 31st in yards per route, 32nd in PFF receiving grade, and 34th in PFF pass blocking grade. So he's a pass catching running back. We need him to be a pass catching running back in those stats. This is a rookie though, so let's take it with a grain of salt. But he was sold to us as a pro ready, can't miss guy year one, and like those metrics right there. That's what they saw. That's why they didn't play him in the playoffs, right? Exactly.
It's also odd and concerning because he was a very good pass protector at Ohio State. So the fact is, and he comes in.
I don't think so.
Well, he was.
I mean, well, maybe.
Yeah. Well, he was. But he comes in and maybe it's adjusting the speed of the NFL. Maybe another year, another offseason under his belt, things improved on that front. But that's a pretty damning stat. Would you say 34th out of 34 qualifying?
34th out of 40. So there were some worse guys, but not many. Hunter Henry, Tight end 17. I don't have the list, but Hunter Henry, tight end 17, ranked top 5 amongst tight ends in touchdowns 7, expected touchdowns 6.6, and red zone targets 25. So that's where Drake May is looking now. That's probably going to change this year with A.J. Brown being there because A.J. Brown's also going to whine and cry if he doesn't get those targets.
I mean, he's a big body wide receiver, like red zone threat, so sure.
17. Does Eli Raridon change anything for you at all? Let's start with there. No.
Not in year one. No, it doesn't really affect it. It does signal that they're planning to use probably more tight end sets, like everybody in the league. But it doesn't really change anything from a drafting of him in fantasy perspective. I would be fine if I miss out on a run and now the top 15 guys are gone. I would be fine taking Henry later and streaming the position. I think you can get by with him for a couple weeks here and there, pick him up off the waiver wire if he starts to show consistency, etc. But I'm not excited about it, but I'd be fine with it.
All right. Hunter Henry or TJ Hawkinson?
Hunter Henry.
How would you describe it?
I don't even know how to feel right now. I'm like, I don't even know. I'm happy.
What my answer is.
Yeah, I do. It's the wrong answer, but I do want to know what it is.
I cannot wait for him to be tight end 8 this year so I can pull a Peyton Manning and shove my nutsack in your face like he did to that female trainer. Sorry, Peyton, I had to do it.
It ain't gonna happen. So,
will you admit? Will you allow it if it happens? What's it gonna take? Top five tight end for that to happen?
If he's a top 8 tight end, I will do cartwheels on this program.
No, I was talking about the nuts in the face.
Oh, ooh.
Top five. What's it gonna take?
Top 3.
Top 3.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you heard it first. Top 3. It's a board bet. A little different than the fantasy footballers board bets. We have nuts in people's faces, and TJ Hawkinson's involved. It's a wild board bet.
Like make each other eat hot sauce or something? I don't remember. What do they do?
They probably make one of them like sit in a library for an hour, something super lame. But so top 3 tight ends on the board. Put on the board. If TJ Hawkinson's a top 3 tight end in PPR, I get to teabag Storey. Yes.
Yeah, I shouldn't have put that out on the internet. The internet is forever.
Well, no. What you shouldn't put out the internet is when it happens, and I'll film it, and then I probably get arrested. But Jets. Let's move on to the Jets. Jets.
Yeah.
3-14 last year. Rough year. Aaron Glenn. 300 points scored. His defense. Aaron Glenn, the defensive guru. They give up 503 points. Did not have an interception last year. 0 interceptions on defense. Whole different look though. Is this one of the most transformed teams? Would you say top 3 of all the teams this year?
Yeah, I'm realistically on both sides of the ball. They made no bones about it that they were going to basically stuff the roster and see who makes it, and they'll play for the future. They're not playing to win. Got to hope that Geno Smith can kind of guide them through a year or two, and they will end up drafting his successor, which is probably a first-round pick next year or the year after. Plenty of talent next year. They listen to who they signed on the defensive side of the ball. Minka Fitzpatrick, David Onyemata, Vondre Sweat, he's a nose tackle. Demario Davis, Nashawn Wright, Dane Belton, Kingsley Enagbor. They did a lot on the defensive side of things. And obviously they needed to. You mentioned it, no interceptions last year.
All right. Dude, this Hendy love is unreal. Gotta love how all these guys completely ignore the 50% chance that Hendy just takes a job like the Hall of Fame talent he is. Maybe, man, or like you guys, all you crazy Hendy suckers, are ignoring the fact that he played 12% of the snaps when it mattered most in the playoffs. Like
there is I think there is upside with Henderson, but there is a 0% chance he makes the Hall of Fame. 0. Like
No. Don't say that because we just said that we went over that who was the Hall of Famer? We were the Denver player. Fucking that had 6 seasons. That played 6 seasons.
Oh, yeah. God, that was a while ago. Anyway.
Yeah.
I know, like, if you can't get on the field in a Super Bowl run in your rookie year, I don't know what to tell you, man. There's no Hall of Fame path for a guy like that. He could be a fine player. All pro probably at some point, I would think, but come on. Hall of Fame talent.
Well, he's a fine player. He's fast.
Yeah.
He's very fast. Like, he's not better than Devin
I see
A-Chain.
the upside, but Hall of Fame talent, come on.
We can't ignore the downside, guys. We can't ignore the downside that he's not going to be on the field very much. It's a major issue for me. I want my players to be available on the field. You can't score fantasy points from the bench. You just can't. Just never happened before. It might happen now. Maybe I'm missing something, but I think so. And Saxon says, I heard the same talk about JSN. JSN was the best receiver at Ohio State room that included Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. Like, Quinshon Judkins was playing over Travion Henderson in college,
I don't think
right?
Talent was ever in question for JSN. I think it was the quarterback, right? We did not expect that Sam Darnold would continue what he did in Minnesota and win another 14, 15 games.
This dude, I'm telling you, you remember like week 8 on last year, I was getting so much shit about hating Travion Henderson and like not believing in the numbers because they were all just broken 80-yard runs, the 3 he had. And so many people were coming at me. I was like, he's not very good. Stevenson's taking the job. They're like, you're an idiot. And like, I could not have been more right in that situation. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be right this situation. I'm avoiding a guy in the 4th round that I just can't trust the snap share. I can't trust it. And if people want to go into it trusting it, that's on them. And you know what? There is upside, Story. We mentioned it's a lot of upside. He could be a league winner. We want to find these league winners. I like finding my league winners after round 4. I want my steady. Give me David Montgomery, who's going to be an RB1 this year. He's going to have 12 touchdowns. I know he's going to see 70% of the work. Texans have a good defense. I can go on about David Montgomery. This is not a Texans show, is it?
It's not.
I wish it was.
I
love David Montgomery. All right, we already did that one. So the Jets, 503 points allowed. The defense will be better. Not a lot in the fantasy to talk about, but Geno Smith, quarterback 29. I love this ADP for a super flex league or a best ball league. Geno's a chucker. A lot of good weapons we're going to get into. Why is he quarterback 29? Is it because he might get benched, or is it because people just saw last year with literally the worst coaching staff, worst offensive line, worst team ever in the Raiders?
Well, I mean, Geno Smith's got 2 Pro Bowls in his career, 22 and 23, and then 24 and 25. The dude threw 32 interceptions across the league worst 32 interceptions. So he's 35 years old. He's got a ton of starts under his belt. He's coming back home. So a lot of younger teammates, right? So they did a lot they did a lot. They had a lot of draft picks, and they did a lot in the first round. They made a lot of moves. That's probably why, because what does Geno give you in the running game? Probably not a whole lot. I think it's going to be a lot of Breece Hall this year.
Yeah, I think the upside is the backups there. I know we said this last year about Justin Fields. He can't lose his job. He ended up losing his job. They drafted Cade Klubnik, who is not ready for the NFL. We're not fans of him. And it's going to be Geno, and he is a chucker. And the interceptions are damning, Story. And then I feel like Geno's a better fantasy player than he is real-life player, right? He's going to throw the picks, but like it's Jameis Winston. He's a Jameis Winston light at this point, which I don't hate, and the weapons are pretty good. So let's talk about Breece Hall. Running back 14, ADP 27. I think you're in on Breece Hall at this ADP because this offense is better. The offensive line is above average. And the defense is a little improved. Not to mention Breece Hall has a season where he led all running backs in receptions. That was his 2nd year, I believe. So you have the receiving upside. You should have the goal line work. I mean, Braylon Allen's going to mix in, but they just paid Breece Hall. Like, this is similar to the Devin A-Chain thing. I feel much more confident. Now, I do want Devin A-Chain over Breece Hall, but based on ADP, I feel much more confident in Breece Hall because this team's going to be more competitive, and I think that Breece Hall is a better running back than Devin A-Chain.
Yeah, I mean, if Smith can find his mojo from the 2022 or 2023 seasons, then this offense could be interesting. Garrett Wilson's got 3,000-yard seasons under his belt. Breece Hall's coming off a career best, 1,055 yards or something like that. So there seems like at value, people are down on the Jets, and I'm down on the Jets a little bit, but this is a team that is going to take a couple of years to kind of grow. I'm not a fan of Aaron Glenn. I think this is more of a second half team than there might be some growing pains here, I think, unfortunately.
I mean, being not a fan of Aaron Glenn, like, let's just be honest. We think he's awful. Like, it's not like we're not a fan of him. Like, you're not a fan of a lot of coaches' stories. So, like, you hate this guy. Like, this dude is probably the worst coach in the league. He's like awful. Least qualified.
He's probably the All around, yeah, I would say he's the worst coach in the league. In game, that I'm still going to give you to Todd Bowles. That guy's
Todd Bowles, yeah.
Yeah. But all around, yeah, he's awful. I can't believe he kept his job after last year. Well,
here's the problem with Aaron Glenn is he's not even a good defensive coordinator, and he's a defensive-minded head coach, which we don't want in the NFL anymore. We want our head coaches to be typically offensive-minded or really good in game. So he's not offensive-minded. He's bad in game, and he's not a good defensive coordinator. He falls asleep during the combine. Like, what is he offering besides like being only how old is he? Like 42, but he's gray. So he's got the gray. So maybe that's why he got hired. They're like, this guy seems grizzled. This guy seems smart. Not smart. Not smart. He's
no. I mean, you know my feelings on him last year, and they have not changed. So I do think until he gets fired, it could be a bit of a struggle. Getting Sadiq involved, getting Cooper involved, that should all help. But I don't want to get over my skis with the Jets offense just because they made a lot of moves in the offseason. They had 3 first-round picks and 4 picks in the top 50 or something like that.
All right, guys, we're going to get to every comment and question after the Jets segment here, which should be pretty short. So get them all in, and in 15 minutes or so, we will go through them in order if you want to stick around. So Breece Hall, running back 14, are you in?
Yeah, I'm in. Breece Hall, like Devon Achane, is going to be very necessary to the offense. Geno Smith is not a stranger to utilizing the running back in the passing game. He doesn't bring much in the quarterback upside, so not ideal for opening up lanes, but should be plenty of dump-offs for him. The quarterback or running back 14, I think people are still a little – Breece Hall has dealt with a little bit of injury in his career, but I wouldn't call him injury-prone.
No, he had an ACL, and then he's had some, small little things bounce up. But Braylon Allen, running back 63, we love Braylon Allen. At least we used to love Braylon Allen. Do you still love Braylon Allen? I got to grab a beer.
Yeah. What's the other – wait, before you go, what's the other guy's name there?
Isaiah Davis.
Isaiah Davis, thank you. Yeah. I do love Braylon Allen as a talent. He's a man amongst boys, and he is a boy himself. He's a very young – he was a young prospect coming out of Wisconsin. What?
I said you love that.
I do. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. We talked about that. It gives me pause that he is the back, similar to the Ollie Gordon situation. It gives me pause when you had plenty of work for Isaiah Davis last year. They didn't seem committed. I know that Braylon Allen got hurt early, but he wasn't like the true. It didn't feel like he was the true backup. Oh, Hetzer heard it too.
No, sorry. I'm on one. I'm sorry. Hey, we put on a hell of a show around here. We got to keep it a little light. We're talking about the Jets in fucking June, dude. Like,
I know.
We have to keep it light.
That's rough. Anyway, you stack it.
Braylon Allen, though, is he the true handcuff? I know we mentioned Isaiah Davis, who's been pretty good in his NFL career. Probably better than Braylon Allen if you break down the numbers. But Braylon Allen's such a monster. He's so young. Now, we're talking about these like handcuff situations. We don't know which is the handcuff. And we thought Braylon Allen was 2 years ago, his rookie year, and he wasn't because Isaiah Davis actually played more snaps than him. Even though Braylon Allen was actually like cutting into Breece Hall's snap share a lot when they were healthy. Or he was getting like 38% of the snaps. And then like when Breece Hall went down, he was playing only like 45% of the snaps, which made no sense to me. I love the talents, but I can't guarantee it's him. I think it's a 50-50 if Breece Hall gets hurt.
I mean, this feels like a Bill situation. The Ray Davis, Ty Johnson feels like the Miami Dolphins, Ollie Gordon, Jalen Wright. I think it should be. I feel it probably it very well may be, but I can't guarantee that he's the right guy for the backup job.
All right, wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, wide receiver 18, Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver 59, and Adonai Mitchell, my boy, wide receiver 86, Storey. Garrett Wilson drew a 33% target share in his 6 full games last season. Only JSN had a higher target rate, which was the craziest target rate we've ever seen with JSN. And that was also a Justin Fields who's known on just locking in on one receiver because he can't really read the defense. But he's always been even like with Aaron Rodgers and with Zach Wilson, like Garrett Wilson's always been like that mid-20s, which is very elite. Target earner, always open, can run every route. Has always underperformed though. So wide receiver 18 in a definitely more crowded situation because now they drafted Sadiq in the first round, Omar Cooper, Adonai Mitchell, Breece Hall. Like it's not what it was last year. Is this fair? Pick 39. So you're looking at early 4th round for Garrett Wilson in PPR.
Ooh, man. It's overall, I would say it was a smashing success adding Kenyon Sadiq and Omar Cooper to this offense. Will these guys make an impact in year one? That remains to be seen. I feel more confident that Sadiq will than Omar Cooper. More target competition. You mentioned Justin Fields tends to lock in. 18, Garrett Wilson, man, we love the talent. We loved him coming out. We just haven't seen him put it all together and be a number one wide receiver that we would really want in this league. He's been saddled with bad quarterback play, but that doesn't necessarily stop all players. I would say 18 feels like you're getting a little bit of a discount on Garrett Wilson. I'm just not sure that there is true top 6 upside with him.
So before the draft and Sadiq and Omar Cooper being picked, which we thought they'd take one of the two, right? One, either typically we thought it would be a wide receiver, not a tight end. But I was drawing the JSN comparisons. I was like, this year, people were asking this year, who is this year's JSN? And my answer was Garrett Wilson. But now, like, he's not going to command that level of targets, right? So
no.
I'm going to give you names going around him right now, and I'm going to do this exercise. So Garrett Wilson, wide receiver 18. Let's go Zay Flowers or Garrett Wilson. These are the two guys going ahead of him. Zay Flowers and Tet McMillan or Garrett Wilson.
Ooh, man. I would go Tet McMillan, Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers in that order.
Tet McMillan, Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers. T. Higgins.
Man, I really want to love T. Higgins. I cannot get past the injury concerns that plague both him and Joe Burrow. So Garrett Wilson.
Emeka Egbigbu.
Oh, it's Egbigbu all day long.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Lad McConkey.
Garrett Wilson.
Luther Burden.
Garrett Wilson.
Mike Evans.
Garrett Wilson.
Terry McLaurin. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, man, I love me some Scary Terry. I'm going to go with McLaurin on that one.
McLaurin is wide receiver 23 and Garrett Wilson's wide receiver 18. I'm Garrett Wilson over all of those guys. I think I'm going to go Zay Flowers ahead of Garrett Wilson, but I'm going to go Garrett Wilson over Tet McMillan. That one's really close. I want Wilson over Ibuka, over McConkey, over Burden, over Evans. And I think I want Terry McLaurin right there with him. So we're way higher on Terry McLaurin.
I'm gonna get a lot of Terry McLaurin this year because I feel like I'm a lot higher on him than the consensus is. I think Jane Daniels is going to come back pretty strong, and he's going to have Antonio Williams on the opposite side, going to open things up for him. McLaurin's such an awesome deep threat. I love Terry McLaurin this year.
And there's the upside. They actually start using him properly. And like moving him around and giving him some slot snaps and some design touches, which they've never done.
He just played 30% inside. How amazing he would be.
How about just a wide receiver screen once a game because he's good with the ball in his hands? Like just a couple of those things. And Terry McLaurin's a top 5 fantasy receiver. If Jaden Daniels stays healthy and, but I feel like wide receiver 23 is a steal. Okay, Omar Cooper, wide receiver 59, and then Adonai Mitchell, 86. Are you on consensus with this that he's going to be Omar Cooper should be drafted? I know it doesn't matter so much for redraft. Let's go best ball here. That he should be drafted 27 spots, wide receiver spots ahead of Adonai Mitchell.
No, but
Mitchell's going to play more snaps.
You know why, right? It's
a rookie
receiver. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's the unknown. It's the mystery box versus. I hesitate to call Adonai Mitchell a boat because he had a few great games last year when he was the only show in town. But with Garrett Wilson healthy, and Breece Hall seemingly very comfortable now being in New York, and Kenyon Sadiq, I doubt that there's going to be a lot left for Adonai Mitchell or Cooper for that matter. There's just not enough here for me to feel confident in the second wide receiver on the New York Jets.
I love Mitchell in best ball, man. That price, if he's gonna be in the field every snap, and single coverage, Adonai Mitchell running go routes, I'm in.
I think you got to be in on best ball, but I can't imagine taking him in a redraft. You're going to start this guy in redraft even on a heavy bye week?
No, you need a Garrett Wilson injury is what you need, which is it's fine because he's kind of baked in there. Let's talk about Kenyon Sadiq and Mason Taylor, my boy, Rip Mason Taylor. Kenyon Sadiq, tight end 19. I still don't believe this ADP because I feel like by the time the season and redraft season starts, he's going to be going tight end 14 and 15, right? He has to be.
Yeah, I can't believe he's going at 19. I would have thought that he'd be pushing top 12 by now. But we'll see what happens. There's a lot of casuals that haven't started playing yet. Rookies tend to attract a lot of attention, especially when you're drafted as high as a guy like Kenyon Sadiq was. So if he stays in this price range, again, he's a viable streaming option. I don't know. I want to roll him out there in week 1, but if I'm going to platoon him with like Hunter Henry, okay, let's see what happens. And if he doesn't work out, you toss him to the waiver wire.
We're both not really fans of Sadiq. We think he's more of a project than I guess the consensus is, right? And I don't know what do you project his snap share to be this year? At least let's say the first 8 games. So starting out like 55 to 60% or higher.
I was going to say 60%. Seems about right. I mean, 60 to 65, it'll ramp up very quickly. You don't spend that high of a draft pick on somebody without the intention of using him. Aaron Glenn would be a fool not to use him, and he is a fool. I don't want to like say that because he is a fool, but I think even somebody that dense would figure out that he's probably going to be the best athlete on the field when he's on the field.
You just reminded me of Shawshank. Are you obtuse?
What did you call me? How can you be so obtuse? What did you call me? Get in here now.
He is very obtuse.
What?
He is very obtuse. All right, let's get to some comments. That is the AFC East, gentlemen. Ooh, Thursday, we're going to be talking about the NFC East. And I also want to say next Friday is Hawaiian shirt day. So, wear some jeans and wear a Hawaiian shirt. And
if you feel like it.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right, let's go down here. Jay says, watch the Jets win 8 games and miss their quarterback. They do have 2 first-round picks next year, I believe. So they can trade up, but that's not ideal to trade up for a quarterback. What do you think the ceiling is for the Jets? Is it 8 games? Because this roster is decent.
Yeah, I mean, they get to a nice 2 free wins over Miami, so that's helpful. They get a they get a first place or 4th place schedule because Miami ended up winning like a ton of games last year. So, I don't think it's a 5 or a winning season. Probably 7 or 8 games would be this is one of those teams that can go. We've seen it in the past. It goes from really bad offense. They make some moves. Things kind of gel very quickly, and they become a strong contender for like the Saints last year, right? Nobody really expected the Saints, but Shuck was much better than anticipated. Olave had a healthy, productive season. If that all comes together for the Jets, 8 games maybe. Yeah, but that's right. Like Jay's right there. Like watch him miss out on Arch Manning and Dante Moore and Trinidad Chambliss and all those guys.
We have a simple Jack request per Hetzer. Aaron Glenn is the simple Jack of all NFL coaches. So is Todd Bowles. This is out to Aaron Glenn and Todd Bowles.
Simple Jack, the story of a mentally impaired farmhand who can talk to animals, was a box office disaster that many critics called one of the worst movies of all time.
Got a good brain.
I think you've got a fine brain, Jack.
You make me happy.
But now the question is, can speed...
Nice.
I love that thing every time. Team Money, what's your favorite coach story?
God.
You can't even name one.
I say none of them.
Come on.
I don't know.
Come on.
Mike McDonald. There. We'll go with him until I can think of somebody better.
Until he has a 9-8 season, and then you're going to say he's terrible too.
Listen. When you do stupid things, you're going to get called out. And every coach has done stupid things. Vrabel was at the top of the list, but he's an idiot when it comes to like his public life. So it knocks him down the list. It has to.
So you know what the problem is that coaches are involved in a lot. So there's a lot of different things you could critique. And it's like someone judging me. And like if they were to see, I say some dumb things in this program all the time. Football related, non-football related. I also say some very smart things. But to judge me on my bad things, saying I'm terrible at hosting a show is crazy. And you got to take the full scope. So just because someone does some dumb things coaching doesn't mean they're a bad coach. You get what I'm saying? Because they're all going to do things.
It does. Because these guys are supposed to be the 32 best people for this job. 32 out of 8 billion. You can't find anybody better in 8 billion people, and you make dumb decisions like that, you deserve to get called out on it.
Hold on. It's not Storey. It's not really 8 billion because it's pretty much, for the most part, outside of the Rooney Rule, it's pretty much you got to be between 40 and 60 and white. So
but I could find
that's limited. That's less than 8 billion.
I could find 12-year-olds who played Madden who would be better head coaches than some of these idiots that they keep trotting out there. I'm dead serious about that. There are some.
I know you are. Tell me how you really feel, man.
Yeah.
Derek got Isaiah Davis in the 17th round of our Dynasty Startup League. He says it was the steal of the 17th round.
I mean, that is a really good value right there. If Davis ends up being the handcuff, the true backup there, then yeah, you got yourself an absolute steal. Let's see where the league's at right now.
I'm not very thrilled with our bench, honestly, Storey.
I mean, the starting lineup is amazing. It's just the bench is a little bit.
I feel like once we took Worthy, it kind of has gone downhill a little bit. And I'm willing to own that. But you know what the nice thing is, Storey? We did not trade a single one of our picks, our future picks. So we have that going for us, and I like our starting lineup.
It was very important to me. Also, it'd be nice if Stephon Diggs would sign a contract somewhere. That would really help.
We do have Diggs. He'll sign as long as there's no more allegations.
Yeah. Hey, I got to call it early tonight. I got an early meeting mañana. So
all good, man.
We will reconvene Thursday for the NFC East, and we'll get all of my Dak Prescott love out.
You hate Dak Prescott. You hate everything. You're just a hater. I love you. I love you.
Yeah.
Anyway, Storey won't say he loves me back. See, they hear that? You see that? He don't want to do that.
No, not right now.
He's not a hugger. He's not. I love you. I will hug each and every one of you, and I'll tell you guys all I love you. But maybe that's just because I'm drunk. You know?
Yeah. Well, my brother, he knows that, and he likes to give me hugs, and I'm like, I don't like that, man. I don't like being touched. Okay, I don't like. You've seen the movie Stripes with Bill Murray and Harold Ramis, right? Francis. He's like, I don't want anybody touching my stuff. It's like, and I don't want none of you uses a slur touching me. Lighten up, Francis.
When we in a couple of weeks or next week, whenever we decide, we're gonna play trivia with the wives, and I'm gonna be slowly caressing Storey's ear while it's going on. I already have that plan, so I kind of gave it away. Yeah, you ready for that?
Yeah, always, man. I'm a whiz at trivia.
I'm gonna slowly just ramp it up to where the next week I'll be sucking on your ear. We're just gonna get really weird with it.
Wow, this has gone off the rails. Except not unlike that train today, the big boy.
Well, I don't know how many years on this earth I got left. I'm gonna get real weird with it. Meanwhile, block the wind. I'm gonna roast this bone.
Jesus Christ.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. Thursday.
Yep, Thursday.
Right.
Later. Hetzer, are they going to run 2 tight end sets with Mason Taylor and Sadiq? Yeah, they will. And I think Mason Taylor might actually be the snap leader early in the year. What that means, we don't know. And Storey does not like to get touched. That is a fact. But I'm going to touch him. So that's what I'm going to do. He's an interesting cat. We love Mike Storey, and I think he plays very well with my weirdness. And he's the best in the business, guys. What can I say? Makes my job very easy. So now I'm going to struggle through these questions because I'm terrible. How old do you have to be to partake in Hawaiian Shirt Day? I don't think there's an age on it. It's how comfortable are you and how cool are you, right? Like if you're a loser, and I use that term loosely, but if you're just like a not even dork, because I think I'm a dork, but if you're just one of those boring people, you can't rock Hawaiian shirts. You have to be a fun person to wear a Hawaiian shirt, or a fat person. Ideally, a fat, fun person. So I love Hawaiian shirts. Ironically enough, Dakota, we started the show, me and my buddy Rob, it was Rob Squared. We wore Hawaiian shirts the entire first season. Fat guy shirts is what we called them, like Tommy Bahama and all those kind of things. So I have a pretty big catalog of roster, if you will, of fat guy shirts. So maybe I'll bust one out one of these shows to bring back the old Hawaiian shirt feel, because I do like the feel of them. And it screams I'm a fun guy, or maybe I'm a sad guy, or maybe I'm a fun, sad guy. Storey sounds 72, retired and fed up with how much smarter he is in society. Yeah, well, with the coaches thing, and my thing is Story is a very smart individual, but I don't think he's a better coach than these guys. Like, it's not that there's a lot on your plate. It's hard, man. So I'm a little bit more. I give a little more leeway with these coaches. So I don't know. He takes the hate on coaches to a whole different level. But you know what? I'm here for it because it's hilarious. I endorse it. I want to have fun with it, and maybe if you get him drunk enough or you get him in a good enough mood, he'll admit that he is a little hard on them, right? He's a little bit harsh on hating every coach. Like, he kind of likes Kyle Shanahan. He hates Sean McVay. He thinks Sean McVay is a bum, which, whether you like Sean McVay or not, like, he's a top 5 coach. I don't know how you could say he's not a top 5 coach because his resume is awesome. He's also kind of the GM on that team. So I love Sean McVay. So I also love Kyle Shanahan. Like, I see the argument for Kyle Shanahan over Sean McVay, and I see the argument for Sean McVay over Kyle Shanahan. So I don't value just one Super Bowl. I think that it's NFL Super Bowls are tough. That's the quarterback thing too. Like, I'm not going to punish Josh Allen for not having one, and I still think he's better than Mahomes, even though Mahomes has 3. Who do you want as your head coach, Aaron Glenn or Muhammad? Muhammad. Any of those, I'll take any Muhammad from over there over Aaron Glenn. Anyone over Aaron Glenn. The draft was moving today. I think we slowed it up a little bit because I was a little busy today, but we're almost done, guys. We only have 4 more rounds in our startup draft. It's a slow draft. It's only been 2 weeks, so we're going to finish in less than 3 weeks, which is impressive. It is impressive. I got to get Story to drink more in the show, for sure. Derek has Mouse 2027 first-round pick, so we are in great shape. Yeah, but you know what, Derek? At the time, with all those trades he made, I thought his team was so cooked, but he has made this work, and he's a win-now roster, which he had to be with no future picks, but that's probably not going to be a top 5 pick. I don't think it's going to be a top 8 pick. I think this could be he's going to make the playoffs, I feel like. I could be wrong. I do like his roster, though. So it would almost be better to have a 28 first-round pick from him. But who knows? His team is pretty thin. So if injuries happen, you get some value there with that pick. Prediction of the Saints record this year. I am not as high on the Saints as most people. I think that a whole division is up in the air. I'll give you 9-8. I think 9-8 for the Saints. I think the Bucs take the division at 10-7, but it's going to be close. I actually think that the team that won the division last year is probably going to have the worst record, and that's the Panthers. And I think the Panthers are a better team than they were last year. I think their schedule is a murderer's row. I know it's hard to look at the schedules now and predict and all that kind of stuff, but we'll see. If Bryce Young makes another leap, then it's different, but I have not seen a lot of evidence to support that. Are you drafting tonight? Probably not, Jay. Let's see. We're at 2 hours already. Probably not, but I'll answer a few more questions. And then tomorrow night, me and the Chaz are going to talk about a bunch of different stuff, some dynasty stuff, talk about some NFL futures, and we'll probably draft a team at the end of that show. And then Friday night, I'll probably draft a whole night of just drafting. We got Unique in here. What's up, buddy? Big Doug, long time no talk. You probably talked about it. Aaron Donald doesn't come back, right? I thought he was going to come back last year, but I know he could come back. He is talented enough. He is a monster of a human being. The question is, does he want to? He went out on top. Why come back now? But playing alongside Mr. Myles Garrett with some nice corners and just the most win-now team I've seen in a long time makes a hell of a lot of sense. We'll see, man. I mean, it'd be just another little wrinkle in this monster they're building over there in LA. Derek has both Mouse first-round picks. Derek's by far the front runner of the Dynasty League. Derek has the nice blend of win now and the future. So he has the picks. He has pretty young players, also some win now players. So I do love Derek's roster. It's really, really deep. But again, Mouse team is fucking good. So those first round picks, after the first couple trades, we had no equity and we didn't start the draft. We thought those were gonna be like top 3 picks. I was like, you just handed Derek the league. But the fact that his team is a little better than what we thought, it's still first round pick's a first round pick. I get it, but picking at the 109 is a lot different than picking at the 103. I think it seems decent. I really do. Let's go for roll from Roosevelt. Oh. Hold on. Did I freeze out? Hold on. Having some internet issues here, guys. Give me a second on the camera. I'm going to play a clip while I get this going.
He can't masturbate. He can't make it come out.
He can't go left?
No, he can't go to his left. Can you go to your left?
Nah, nobody can.
No one can.
It's funny, though. There's other things I can do lefty. I can eat lefty. I can brush my teeth lefty.
There's a big difference. You need rotation. You need tempo. You need feel.
Season. I think you learn a lot. In fact, you learn a heck of a lot more when things aren't going well than when it is going well. And I learned a lot.
I'm back. Sorry about that. Todd says, what's more likely, 49ers defeat the substation or Hurts wins MVP? They debunked the substation thing. Jalen Hurts is not winning MVP. I'm not a Jalen Hurts guy. So it's the Niners defeating the substation. And obviously, as you guys know, some of you that have been watching these last couple months, my biggest future bet is Brock Purdy 20-1 to win MVP. So I am about the Niners this year. Now, that might take a hit with what we saw, because to win MVP, you have to have about 12 or 13 team wins at quarterback. But I trust in Kyle Shanahan, and I trust in Brock Purdy, who was playing at an MVP at the end of last season. So I'm going with the Niners all day there. Now, Jalen Hurts is more likely to win a Super Bowl MVP because that team is unreal. But regular season MVP, it's just not happening. All right, we got to get to this other comment here. There's rumors. We heard the rumors last year, though, too, about Aaron Donald. So, Mouth wants no part of any rookie picks. Once the season starts, he should change his tune. He'll regret it when we have the rookie draft next year, and he's not a part of it. And next year is an all-time class by all accounts. And even the second round next year is going to be almost like a first round. First round this year, which was a bad rookie class. You have Jadarian Price going pretty high. Will Seahawks be as good without Walker and other players they lost? This hinges on Sam Darnold, right? And the Walker loss will be felt. Some of the defensive pieces will be felt. But Sam Darnold, I made the point a couple weeks ago, Sam Darnold's going to be playing so freaking easy. Even going into Seattle, the new home last year after that bad ending there with Minnesota, losing the bye week in that week 18 game and playing terrible, and then just that bad exit they had. He still didn't get a big contract. The Vikings let him go. And now he did that in Minnesota, resurrected his career. Now he just won the Super Bowl, right? So Sam Darnold has nothing left to prove and no pressure anymore. This is just this is what it is. He's going to be out there slinging the ball. He's a gunslinger. He's got JSN. So this team will go as Sam Darnold goes. The defense will still be good. It will take a step back. The running game will be okay once Charbonnet comes back. But this is a Sam Darnold thing, Sam Darnold season. And also, Shaheed should be more impactful than people think. I think last year, he had to acclimate to the offense. They needed him for special teams more. And this year, he's going to make an impact. I really feel like he will be, more trusted and just more versatile. And also, A.J. Barner's another year older. He's a younger player. And Torrey Horton coming back. So they have some weapons on offense. I think the Seahawks I don't think it'll be as good because they won the Super Bowl. I think they're still a Super Bowl contending team. And if it wasn't for the Rams, they'd be the favorite in almost every division in the league. Jonathan thinks we have at least 5 teams that have a good blend of win now and future. Dude, I think it's a pretty balanced league. There's a lot of sharp picks. There was a little stretch there from round 2 to round 8, round 3 to round 8, where I was questioning some picks. I was like, maybe it's not as sharp as I thought. And then me and Storey are getting sniped left and right on our younger players we wanted to draft. So we started just reaching on guys. GT, would you draft more Rams players due to Garrett coming to the Rams? No, I would actually almost draft less. The defense is going to be so good, and they'll still be fine, right? But they're drafted high, and we want the fantasy circus teams where we want the team with a good offense and a bad defense. Not so bad where they can't get off the field or, where they give up 40 points a game, but that nice blend. The Rams had that perfect blend last year. They were a little below average defense, but just enough to, they gave up big plays, but they also didn't give up 1 million points. Now their defense is looking like a fucking world beater, and that is not great for the ultimate upside of these players, right? Puka is not getting 180 targets this year. Why would they throw the ball that much? I'm not saying I'm not going to fade Rams. I'm just definitely not going to draft more of them because of Myles Garrett. This season for my team probably hinges on Rice and Jacobs' availability. Yeah, I think Jacobs is fine. I'm less worried about Jacobs every day that passes, so. I'll be buying low on mouse roster during 27 rookie draft. Torrey Horton back healthy will relieve Shaheed on special teams. Also, Jadarian Price is going to be returning kicks. So I don't think they're going to put Shaheed back there on kick returns. I think he's just going to be on punt returns. So they need that. That was a big reason. Like Shaheed needs to step up, and I love Torrey Horton as well. Where does Diggs and Tyreek end up, man? I think that the Ravens make the most sense for Diggs. I really do. I mean, Rashad Bateman is their number 2, and I like Elijah Sherrod a lot. But to rely on a rookie that wasn't like a top 2 round pick as your guy, you lost Isaiah Likely. Mark Andrews is getting to the dusty side. I don't think he's dusty. I don't think he's dust. He's getting dustier. They need something, right? And Derrick Henry, like, yeah, he always stays healthy, but they also don't. Do you want to give Derrick Henry 400 touches or 330 touches? Probably not. Probably not. So Tyreek could go anywhere. We have no updates, right? And the Raiders make a lot of sense, but I think Diggs wants to go to a winner. I think both these players want to go to a winner. And the Raiders will be better, more competitive, but the Raiders are not a winner. They're in the second hardest division in sports or in football this year. The Raiders wide receiver room gets paid $7.2 million this year. So it's Trey Tucker. It is Jalen Naylor. It is Dante Thornton. It is Jack Besh. That is a rough wide receiver room. Super chat, goal, counter, functional. It is not. The goal ended, but what do we have here? So let me see. We have 4. We have 6. We have 11. No, it's not because I set it for 2 hours, Derek. Derek is the man. He sends a super chat to see if the super chat counter is functional. Derek, I need to clone you. Can I get 10 Dereks? And then I can actually afford to drink better beer than Outlaw Light. Have you guys heard of this shit? It's from Colorado. Have you ever heard of Outlaw Light? It's like, I don't even know what to compare it to. It's like Natty Ice or some shit. Dude, $11.99 a 30 rack. And like, I live in Illinois. So in Chicago, actually, Chicago's expensive to live, but beer prices are pretty cheap. Like Busch Light's like $19 for a 30 rack. $11.99, and I just tried it today. Kind of almost has an old style taste to it, but it's doable, man. It's gross, but it's doable. Yeah, Outlaw Light, 4.2%. Holy shit, man! I'm gonna go buy 10 of those 30 racks before they run out, and if they change the prices, I'm gonna buy 10 of them and have my beer for the summer, and I'll probably finish that before the summer. But you know what I'm saying? Because I've been drinking a lot of Busch Light, dude. I'm an IPA drinker. I like good fucking beer, but I drink too fast for one, and I'll drink 10 IPAs, no problem. That gets me hammered. Not great for the gut, also super fucking pricey. So I have like slowly gone down, and now I'm just like, I'll drink whatever. I don't care. But yeah, if I had 10 Dereks, I could actually go back to IPAs, baby. Derek, I do appreciate you, my dude. You the man. Hey, now Jack Besh going to be the new Eric Decker or Quince Young Cooper Kupp. You know what I love, and I do the same thing, is player comps, like white receivers. We always just player comp them to other white receivers. We never like player comp them to another race of a receiver. And the counselor did this too, and it's just like it's just a very easy thing to do. And I kind of do the same thing. I did comp Jack Besh to Cooper Kupp a little bit because his play style is similar. But like he put out a short, the counselor put out a short. He was just like, "This guy is Cooper Kupp." I was like, that was his only argument. He's like, "Well, there's no one else there. He's got decent draft capital. He's Cooper Kupp." I was like, "Yeah, he's just like this guy's a wide receiver 1, unreal." I do like Jack Besh though. I really do. Oh, Hetcher drinks 4 Loco. I don't think did they make those anymore? Raiders are playing the league right now, lining up for a top wide receiver. And dude, if they get Jeremiah Smith, Dakota, You have Genty, you have Bowers, you have Jeremiah Smith with Mendoza who can get the ball to all those guys. I don't think they even have to like tank to do it, right? Because the quarterback class is so good. Their division's so tough. The Raiders are going to be competitive, but they might win 3 or 4 games. The problem is the Dolphins and the Cardinals. And possibly the Browns now with the Myles Garrett trade. But I think the Browns are a little better than those teams. And their divisions, there's some winnable games there in their schedule. But it's those 3 teams playing for that top pick. And, you don't need to necessarily have the top pick to get Jeremiah Smith. Usually he would, and number 1's rare for a wide receiver to go. But with all these quarterbacks coming out, that would be wild. That would be wild. Yeah, I drink Keystone Light. It's they have 15 packs for $9.99, which is a pretty goddamn good deal. Keystone Light's like literally just like Coors Light. It's the same thing. For me, all light beer sucks, so I really don't care. If I'm drinking a light beer, I'm drinking a light beer. There's no, like, people that have their preferences, like the Miller Lite drinkers are like, I will never drink Bud Light. Ew, I'll never drink Coors Light. Like, Coors Light's probably the best, maybe. They all suck. So, like, I don't get these, like, hardcore. It's like if you're a Coke drinker, you won't drink Pepsi, dude. I prefer Coke, but I'll drink Pepsi. I'll drink RC Cola. I don't care. Cola's cola. Beer's beer. Hetzer, isn't Four Loko like 18% or some shit? Dude, I love Keystone Light. Relative to what it is for cost, I do like it. How much is in a Four Loko? What is the percentage? You need to help people draft for fantasy and charge for it. Unique, I do, man. That's what the Patreon's for, dude. I essentially will draft if I don't have a draft that day. If you're a community member, I will give you my rankings and actually go pick by pick with you if I have time. Especially if you're a fanatic, I will make time for that. So, ideally, I need to find a bunch of CEOs that are playing in $10,000 buy-in leagues and like just manage their team for them and don't ask for money. I just ask for 10%. And that's how I can make the real money. But you know what? I like doing my own league so much that, yeah, I will help everyone out. That's what I do in the show. But also, I can give you advice here and answer the chat. But like nitty gritty settings, all that kind of stuff, like I need to see the shit in front of me. So I would love to do that for anyone's team. You guys know I'll do that for anyone. So again, no guarantees, guys. Fantasy football is 50% luck, but want to put ourselves in the best position we can every single year. And the draft is only a third of it, right? You have draft. Draft is a big part of it. In-season management's a big part of it. Trades, free agents, start-sit's a big part of it, as well as luck is a big part of fantasy. Did you ever have Sparks growing up? No. What is Sparks? Dakota, I think both teams won that trade. But I would side with the Browns side of it because they had nothing to lose. Like Myles Garrett was – by the time the Browns were going to be winning, Myles Garrett would have been past his prime, probably 2 or 3 years from now. He would have still been a fine player. But they got themselves a younger stud, like you said, that's versatile, and the draft picks. A lot of stuff there. A lot of stuff. I dig both sides of the trade, though. I really do, and it made sense for both teams. Like, what are you giving up with the Rams? You're giving up your future, but, like, you're in a win-now mode. So they have to win the Super Bowl to make this work. If they don't win a Super Bowl, they lose the trade, clearly. If they win one Super Bowl, I'm going to say it was probably a win for them because Super Bowls are hard to come by. Ask Josh Allen and ask Lamar Jackson, or pretty much anyone that's not Patrick Mahomes, how hard those are to come by. Myles Garrett is a little bit of a diva. I mean, he is a diva for defensive ends, right? But he's still an all-time player, right? I mean, he's a little bit overrated against the run because his effort, like he doesn't always give the max effort that you would like, but he is the best defensive end in the league. Are we all? Is anyone going to debate that? Oh, so they lowered it. Okay, so what was it before Four Loko? Was it like 22% or something? Because I think a couple of people died from it because they were drinking so many of them, and it's like isn't it like an energy drink too? So like they were like essentially it's like a speedball. I think that's what Belushi died from. Think.
Oh, I'm so excited to show these douchebags my new back. No brace, fools. A baby got back. How? A baby got back.
Dee, what are you doing?
Baby got back. You know that one. Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Sir Mix-a-Lot was not talking about women whose backs have recovered from horrific spinal disorder. He was talking about gorgeous black women and their big, beautiful black butts.
Black butts are good.
Whatever.
They're good, right?
Guess what?
Hatcher's giving us the lowdown on Four Locos. $3 a can on Buzz for an evening. The flavors suck, but sour apple tastes like a Jolly Rancher and tastes pretty good. Anyway, my name is Hetzer, and I'm an alcoholic. It's fucking great. Oh, those AA meetings, man. You get some nice. I haven't never been to one, clearly, because I'm still on the sauce. But you get good. You know, I don't think the coffee's very good, but it's free coffee and free donuts. At least that's what I've seen in like movies and TV shows. So I don't know how accurate that is. A lot of my knowledge of life comes from pop culture, and I don't know how accurate that is, but I'm going to go with it, guys. I'm going to go with it. Four Locos range between 8 and 14%. That's kind of weak, dude. I drink a lot of double IPAs when I go that route, and those are 10%. So it was a full on like 14% alcohol energy drink with more caffeine than 3 Monsters. That sounds like a fun night, dude. Mix in some lines of, you know what I'm talking about with that shit, and you're really flying, dude. Yes. Yeah, so it's, again, all these trades, any trade, it's so hard to evaluate unless it's super locks. Like Luka for Anthony Davis was a clear win. Like, there's not many trades like that because usually teams aren't that dumb. I'll tell you this. I think the Sauce Gardner trade was a terrible trade for the Jets, for instance. Or sorry, for the Colts. That was a terrible trade for the Colts. In this case, we're not going to know who won until 2 years from now. But if I had to bet who wins, it's the Browns. Because the Browns can still win the trade if the Rams win the Super Bowl. If the Rams don't win the Super Bowl, there's just zero chance ever they're winning this trade. So they need to win the Super Bowl and something else, right? And have the Browns fuck up these picks. Because the Browns, if Jared Verse becomes a all-pro player, which he is on that trajectory, they lose the trade. If they hit in those draft picks, they lose the trade. If the Rams don't win the Super Bowl, they lose the trade. There's a lot of ifs in terms of the Rams. The Browns are just like, fuck it. We're tearing this down. We don't have a quarterback right now. We're going to be bad. I love it. And I love that they're kind of bottoming out. So I like it. Also, Myles Garrett, notable for, the beginning of Happy Gilmore when he's like, I'm the only guy that's ever taken my skate off and tried to murder somebody. Myles Garrett took his helmet off and tried to murder Mason Rudolph. So he's one of the only guys to ever use his helmet as a weapon. So I'm not saying it's a good thing, but pretty funny shit. Hatcher would give up booze for free donuts for life. Yeah, dude. I do like that. Oh, God. Dakota, Strange for Goddard equals Luka for AD. Hey, man. I don't even like Strange. So, like, honestly, I don't even like the trade for us. I was just like, he took him 2 rounds earlier. I'm just going to take that just on, like, face value. And Storey likes Brenton Strange. So, I would actually prefer Dallas Goedert, but not for our team. Because I would rather have TJ Hawkinson, as you guys know. And we had to miss out on TJ Hawkinson because of the fucking Strange pick. I don't like Strange. Probably tomorrow, Hetzer. Already at 2 hours and 13 minutes. And as much as I love doing the 3-hour streams, I've done way too many of those for fucking June and May. But it's not a no-brainer for me personally. It was for Storey. For me, it wasn't because I don't like Brenton Strange. I don't think he's great. I think it's a very crowded room. If Travis Hunter plays wide receiver this year, Brenton Strange is going to be just the guy. Like I said, I prefer this year. I'm going to draft TJ Hawkinson over Brenton Strange. I don't think I've drafted a single share of Brenton Strange in best ball besides maybe a Trevor Lawrence team, but I don't draft Trevor Lawrence. So I don't think I have Brenton Strange. I could look at my shares of him. I probably have 1 or 2. So I don't love Brenton Strange. Jay loves Brenton Strange. I liked him as rookie. I kind of like the player. I just think it's a very crowded room. Now, the tight end they drafted is strictly a blocker, but a lot more 12 personnel. I just don't know. That's just such a wacky, crowded offense. And I guess the upside is Liam Cohen is that dude, right? Yeah, it was Mason's own helmet. Even better. Okay, it wasn't his own helmet. It was the quarterback's helmet. He ripped it off and then tried to beat him to fucking death with it. Fucking love that, man. It's like Tuco and Breaking Bad beating Jesse up with that bag of money. Or the awesome quote from Step Brothers where he's like, I'm gonna fill up fill up a pillowcase and fill it with bars of soap and beat the shit out of you. No, Dallas Goedert wasn't on our like we would have taken Ray Davis or a running back there, and I would have taken TJ Hawkinson or something way later, which I wanted to do, but we're co-managed team, so I want to give Storey some of his players, and he likes Bretton Strange. I would never have drafted Bretton Strange. I probably would have drafted him there. We never drafted him 2 rounds earlier. I'm just not a Bretton Strange guy. And he was okay last year. I have nothing against Bretton Strange. He's a young guy, so I guess it's okay in Dynasty. But I am just not in on Bretton Strange.
You're planting a baby monitor?
Yeah. A lot of people are bugging their babies these days. I guess babies can't be trusted.
What exactly is it you're expecting to find here?
A lot of shady shit.
Like what?
Like maybe Bruce is banging dudes.
Why would that be shady?
Maybe the dudes are babies.
What? Bruce is not banging any baby dudes. Look,
He might be. Maybe he's watching so much college football, and that's on his radar. Take a little low blow at Storey. That was kind of a funny joke, though. All right, give me a couple more comments, and then I am going to be out of here, guys. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Central with the Chaz. Going to be a fun show. Why did you pass on Hawkinson to continue the Chiefs stack? Because we had Bretton Strange, and I didn't want a third. Our third tight end is going to be like a young guy because we do trust in Sam Laporta being so young. Yeah, and Hawkinson doesn't do much for us this year. Hawkinson's a one-year rental. When I say I'm about Hawkinson, I don't like his future prospects because I think this is his last year of prominence, and it doesn't help our team. But I think I want Goddard over Hawkinson in redraft, but that's close. But again, they're going so far different from each other. Derek says, in high school, my football team had a brawl at the end of the game. Our MLB ripped their quarterback's our middle linebacker ripped their quarterback's helmet off and hit him with it. Dude needed 11 stitches. So your middle linebacker was Myles Garrett, Derek? Is that what I'm hearing? Because I know you're a little older. Derek's still a young man. Derek, you're 52 years old, right? Is that correct? 52? So this would have been, let's see, about 34 years ago. So 1990-ish. Is my math correct there? Is my math mathing for you? 1990, his middle linebacker ripped off a quarterback's helmet and hit him with it. So that was the start of it. 51, I was close. See, I know all my dudes. Yeah, and you know what? Derek, are you married? I always give Jay shit about this. Jay is in his 60s, but Jay does not need any performance help, right? No PEDs in terms of the Viagra for Jay. I'm guessing Derek is still a stallion. But are you married, Derek? And how long have you been married? How many kids do you have? Give us a lowdown real quick here. Anyone else? Just toss it around here. I don't have any children of my own, but I have a couple dogs. Yes, married 30 years. She is a very lucky lady. Does she know that you partake in this wacky, wild show almost nightly? And has she seen you watching it? What does she think? I'm always curious about that because, you know, my wife loves football and loves fantasy because I've kind of got her into it. But a lot of women are not down with, in general, all the football love and talk, especially in these off-season months. And then a crazy, wild show like this where we talk about 51-year-old erections. I mean, it's not safe for work, not safe for your wife. It's not safe for anyone, but we all love it, I think. So obviously you guys are all here. So I wonder if she's aware of what you're doing. Are you doing this in the privacy of your bathroom or your basement? He has a man cave. Derek has a man cave. I already know it. He's chilling in his fucking man cave, dude. Two daughters, 28 and 26. Now I have a granddaughter. Congratulations, man. They call that the American dream. We all have different dreams. My dream is to just drink beer and talk about 51-year-old erections with all you fine people. But typically, growing up, starting a family, all those things is the American dream. And I tip my hat and show you my terrible hairline to you, man. And I'm sure you're a great father, great husband. My wife has seen some of the show when I've watched it in the car. It's about when you watch it, right? Because there could be a 20-minute stretch where it's totally legitimate show, and there's no chicanery or wild stuff, and it's just straight informative. And then you can find a 5-minute section of the show where it's like it could be embarrassing, right? Don't you love the female eye roll, dude? We love it. We love the female eye roll, man. It's that's their go-to move. We don't do it. I don't think we ever roll our eyes at our wives, do we? It's like a chick thing. Like if she tells me she's going shopping with the girls, which is not something my wife would do, but that's a girl thing. I'm not going to be like, again. No, I'm just like, have fun. I'm going to jerk off. Like, how long are you going to be gone for again? Can I light candles? Can I really get into this, or I can do it quickie? That's my thing. We don't roll our eyes. We're just like, okay, cool. Dakota, dissecting our team here. Your Chief stacks include Mahomes, Walker, Johnson, Worthy, Thornton, and Diggs. Well, we don't know if Diggs is going there. And I actually don't want Diggs to go there with our team because that's too many Chiefs. Although it would be good for Diggs stock, it would hurt Worthy and kill Thornton. And, yeah. Oh, we have Emmett Johnson, too. But Emmett Johnson is just a handcuff. But that's a lot. We have a lot of Chiefs. You know what? It's not a bad team to invest in. They're all cheaper than they should be, I guess is my thing. Again, I don't like stacking in redraft or dynasty. I don't. It just kind of happened like that. And I feel like the price point was just too good on Worthy. He's 23 years old. Tyquan Thornton could be the one this year. It's kind of a bet against Worthy, so that's kind of a hedge, and I hate hedging. So we made some mistakes. I think our team is still pretty fucking good. Terry McLaurin's our wide receiver 4. So I do like that. We have 2 RB1s if you want to count Kenneth Walker as an RB1. Jonathan, best part is when the stream is normal and it gets odd randomly. Always catches my wife off guard, and she has a dark sense of humor. Dude, you know what? I appreciate that. That's awesome that you have. Me and my wife don't have the same sense of humor. She does not like Family Guy or South Park. I'm not saying that's my only sense of humor, but like I'm on that mold of randomness. And she, you know what? But if you really love someone, you can get past that, right? For a while early on, I was like, man, I don't know. I can't watch Family Guy with you. You're not going to laugh at it. Or like Sunny. I think she likes Sunny more than those other shows. But Jay, I got the Chiefs wide receiver of the future, my taxi squad, and Cyrus Allen. We also saw, who was the other guy that go off? So Cyrus Allen went off. And then Jalen Royals went off as well. Dakota only drafts players 26 and under in Dynasty. Yeah, Terry McLaurin is the old player on our team. Most of our guys are right around that. We're all like 26 years old, which is a 3-year window essentially. Terry McLaurin's 30, but I feel like he should age, I don't know, a couple years left. I just love the value for Terry McLaurin this year and a couple years left, and I just don't trust them to bring in any, I don't like Antonio Williams, so. Let's see. I got Ayuk to hedge Williams just in case he goes to Washington. I mean, isn't it kind of a formality at this point that Ayuk's going there? Now, I'm not worried about Ayuk at all. I just think he sucks. And he's also just super out of shape. My wife and I are complete opposites. Only way we have made it 30 years, honestly. Opposites do attract, and true love does conquer everything else, right? So obviously you're madly in love with, and I'm sure she's a great gal. So tell her hello for me. I'm going to guess her name. Her name is, can I say Jennifer? I'm going to guess Jennifer. Is she a Jenny? No offense, because of Jenny from Forrest Gump, but she was hot. Don, I thought he was a Jets YouTuber. Does he just do a bunch? Thought we just had some loyalty. I don't really get that comment, Don. Can you clarify? Smith and Higgins are 28. 27, they're going to be 28 when the season starts, Dakota. Right, but 28 is not really old, right? You get 3 or 4 years. Jenny from the block. She's a Lisa. Damn, so Lisa, by the way, in Weird Science, that is the name they name their created girl. If you guys have seen Weird Science, all-time epic movie. If you've not seen it, it is a really, really wild 80s movie. But they named the girl Lisa. And I think Lisa Simpson has ended the Lisas. My aunt's name is Lisa. I did not know any Lisas growing up. I don't think. So I think Lisa Simpson has ended the Lisa run. That was a name for a while. It's kind of gone. But tell Lisa I said hello. Don, oh, never mind. This is Fantasy Guy. Have you guys been doing the streams every day? How you feel about the Jets draft class and how Omar and Sadiq going to do? Yeah, I do the streams pretty much 7 days a week, 28 days a month, roughly this time of year. And then once the season starts, I am on every single night. I love the draft class. I don't like Omar Cooper and Sadiq in redraft. So it's just too many mouths. And if they're going to succeed, then Geno Smith is literally going to be a top 10 quarterback. And he is getting drafted quarterback 29. So odds are that's not going to work. One of them might pop off. My guess would be Sadiq based on his positional value, right? He doesn't need to be amazing to be a startable tight end. Omar Cooper to jump up from wide receiver 59 to wide receiver 36 would be a top wide receiver 3 or better is unlikely. It's going to require a Garrett Wilson injury. But I did like the Jets draft class, and I like a lot of their moves. So they have revamped their team. Don just graduated from college. Congratulations, man. Welcome back. Lisa is pretty close to Jenny. Maybe. God, I hate Aaron Glenn. You know what? I am warm on the Jets, though. I take a lot of Jets. I take a lot of Adonai Mitchell in best ball. I take a lot of Geno Smith in best ball. I'm warming on Breece Hall. Yeah, but Mason Taylor is still really good, man. And I just hate – you know how much I love Mason Taylor this year before the draft pick of Sadiq. So he is still super young. For God's sakes, would you cover yourself? Am I missing something, Derek? What is that from? What do you not like? What do you not like by the redraft? What do I not like about it? Is a lot of mouths to feed, and it's the Jets. Like that's just they're not. Are they going to have an RB1 essentially where Breece Hall is getting drafted, a tight end 1, and 2 wide receivers that are startable? I don't think so. That's like for that's literally for the Bengals and for the Rams and for the Niners and for these teams that we know, the Lions. Like that's not for the Jets. I'm not going to. Oh, weird science. My bad. I was just talking about that. When he's got the underwear on, right? Is that when he's wearing the underwear? Oh, I love that scene. And you will get a quarterback next year. The worry is, and I think Hetcher pointed this out earlier, that the Jets might be too good to get a top 10 pick, and they might be that 6, 7, 8 win team, which they have the talent to do so. And I actually am higher on Geno. I think last year, again, Pete Carroll was not fit for that job. His son, Pete Carroll's son was the offensive line coach. Like bad situation last year for Geno. Better this year. Great call on the name Lisa. Was mostly the number 1 girl's name every year of the 60s. Is currently ranking towards 1,000 in names annually. Wow. Somehow I have some deep. I don't know if I heard that somewhere. I just like realized I've met a lot of girls and went to school and everything. I never met a Lisa. That was in my demographic, right? And I just know some Lisas that are in their 50s and 60s. So Nancy's another one of those names. Nancy, that was my grandmother's name. That name is dead. I think Richard is dying just because it's short for Dick, and like now everyone just rips on you if your name's Dick. But Richard's a good name. But it wouldn't be bad because that means your team would take a step forward, right? The Jets take a step forward. Ideally, the Jets are competitive and they win 5 games. They get the 6th pick and they can trade up or just take whatever quarterback falls. No, Lisa is not. I think Lisa is just the full name, right? Is there a long? I don't think there's a long form of Lisa. God, remember Mona Lisa? Mona Lisa looked like a T-girl, and that's how they looked back then. Very plump, definitely looked like a guy with a wig on, but they like that shit. Oh, the late great Bill Paxton, Chet. What a great! He's in like 3 scenes, but kills it. Yeah. Oh, I love, dude. Bill Paxton makes me so happy when I see him in a movie. Notably, some weird ones he's shown up in. Obviously, Titanic in the first scene is really wild, but he's in the original Terminator. He's the one of the 3 punks that Arnold steals the clothes from. Nightcrawler is a really awesome movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. He is the competition in terms of the media news business there. But I love Bill Paxton. Aliens, like Bill Paxton is an all-time dude. There's also a really good movie. If you've not seen, I think it's a little overrated because it's so big in terms of like it's like a sleeper movie. It's called Frailty. Bill Paxton stars Andrew Rex in it. It's got Matthew McConaughey. It's a horror movie and pretty unique movie, I'll say, with a pretty crazy twist. So if you've not seen Frailty, if you like Bill Paxton, it's his directorial debut and he's a star, like kind of the star of the movie. Him and McConaughey. Pretty wild movie. It's got some religious undertones, which not exactly my cup of tea, but makes a lot of sense. Let's see. Nixon crushed the name Richard in America. Remember the insane movie Dick. What is the movie Dick? I know Andy Dick. Speaking of insane, Andy Dick is absolutely insane. But no, I don't remember the movie Dick. Yeah, Mona Lisa is definitely mid, dude. But the painting, I guess, is all time. I don't know. I feel like, Mona Lisa. How small was it, Don? Like, is it like 7? Like 7? Well, let me pull on my pants. 7 inches? I'm just kidding. No worries, Don. We like comments. I get to every fucking comment in the show, as you guys know. We have Mouth in here. Big old Mouth. What up, boys? Checking in. Second Downtown Sports just released. Check that out, guys. I will post that in the Discord for you guys. That's going to be your NFL episode, correct, Mouth? Because the last one that we released, I listened to that pretty goddamn good. It was the NBA Finals preview. So check that out if you're an NBA fan. But Don is actually correct. My wife's birth name is Elizabeth. She's actually been called Lisa since elementary. Okay. Usually I would think it would be Liz or Beth, but my brother's name is Jonathan and goes by John. Let us know what the episode is, Mouth. Also, if you guys are interested, check out Downtown Sports, 23 different platforms. Also, check out Helen Hunt. Hello, Helen. Helen Hunt starred in a great movie with Bill Paxton, a little movie called Twister. Hello, Helen. You look great today. And check out Downtown Sports. Beast, Mouth, where sports come home. Sports come home. I said it right. 23 platforms. They had Iron Eagle, Noah Eagle. They just had the a voice of the Clippers on their very program. I've been on their program. Storey's been on their program. Great program. I said program a lot there. On YouTube now, guys. So link in the description for their Spotify or just search Downtown Sports. Appreciate that. Also, real quick, I want to shout out to you guys one more time. All of you fine people supporting the show, keeping the show on there every single day. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Anyone interested, here you go. There's a lot of, this is just part of the perks I offer. I give back to the people that give back to us. If you're interested in joining the community, you want to play redrafts with us, you want all this analysis, you can ask me anything, ask any of the co-hosts, Mouth, anyone in here is willing to help, and we all share our teams, strategies, answer questions, life advice. Maybe not life advice, but you don't want that from me, but you know what I'm saying. Go to the websites or link in the description, or just go to Patreon and search for Professional Fanatics. Sign up, get in the Discord, get in the community. Give me a great time. We got NFL coming up pretty soon, gentlemen. Would love to have you in here in the community. Jonathan goes by John. Going by John is wild. Go Spurs, go. I'm fine with both these teams winning, right? Because the Spurs had their crazy run, right? Awesome dynasty. The Knicks haven't been there since 99. Am I right? 99 since the last time they went to the NBA Finals. And the Madison Square Garden is the mecca of basketball. So we're getting Wemby with a championship so young, way younger than we thought. Or we're getting the Knicks, who are just a pillar franchise, winning. So it's a win-win. It's not going to be SGA again. It's not going to be Jokic or whoever else we thought was going to be in there. Or the Celtics. God, we don't want the Celtics winning anymore. God damn it. I am from Chicago. Derek is just a huge, huge Spurs fan. Mouth, the new episode is NFL episode. We had to take care of business. Fucking millionaire had to come out and throw some little shot at me and Beast, so we had to respond. Who's this millionaire you're talking about? Thank you, Jonathan. You know the player props are going to be hitting this year again, man, every year. Well, the Knicks have had a crazier run because it's been an all-time run. Like all-time run, 10 straight wins and the point differential, all those kind of things. Also the 22-point comeback you had, game 1 against the Cavs. But it's the Wemby rise, right? And the Western Conference was harder, and we never thought they would be coming out of that thing. So I think they're more surprising. The Knicks, I feel like they were undervalued, and they have a good team. When they got Cat, Brunson, the OG trade was awesome. Like Bridges, like they have a lot of really good players. I think we all thought the Spurs were 1 year away. I mean, let's not forget the Spurs win total this year to start the year was like 40.5. And that was like, it went up to like 42.5. That's what we're talking about. That was Seahawks and Patriots level shit. But that's the NFL. In the NBA, this does not happen. Teams do not have a borderline 50-50 chance to make the playoffs and go to the finals and win the finals. That does not happen in the NBA. No, Madison Square Garden's the mecca for basketball. It's not so much the home games in terms of the Knicks, even though it used to be back in the day. But I know you hate that because you're a Pacers fan, Dakota, and maybe Halliburton comes back. 99 Knicks lost to ... the Spurs. Look at this. We got some NBA shit talking here. I love it. By the way, Super Kitty gonna swat that French pastry to hell. We got Knicks fans. We have Spurs fans. I am just a basketball fan that doesn't really watch too much basketball anymore, just because I'm just fully committed to this channel. And instead of watching the NBA Finals, which I'll probably catch a little bit of it, instead of watching the NBA playoffs, I've been diving into film. I've been watching, Kyle Williams highlights and shit like that, that's why I'm a true degenerate, guys. I'm watching Kyle Williams highlights instead of watching fucking Spurs Thunder. I don't know what to tell you. Hey, you know what, Don? I'm not going to put that comment up, but you know what? Everyone's allowed to have their opinion. Derek is definitely not, he does not go the other way because Derek's been married for 30 years to a very lovely wife named Lisa. So Derek may be bi. He might be bi. Nothing wrong with that. He's definitely not gay. Derek is, he's an upstanding member, and you could be upstanding member if you go the other way too. Derek is not, and he's entitled to love his team, right? You're entitled to love the Knicks. Let's let it play out on the court, though.
Your hands are what makes it possible. Your shoulder pads are hard and stiff. Your hands are tender, and they can move and caress the ball. that's kind of gay, but hey.
Just a little bit. Can definitely see Wemby hitting GOAT talks in the future if he stays healthy. Dude is crazy talented. Yeah, the problem is Wemby is not going to have the longevity that it's going to take, and winning in the NBA now is so hard. Like, Giannis has one championship. Jokic has one championship. Those guys might never win another one. SGA has one now, and he's young. Like, Tatum has one. Like, it's so hard to win multiple rings now because the NBA is so deep, and it goes. There's so many different teams, so many up and coming teams. So, Wemby, ability-wise, is probably the freakiest player we've ever seen. I mean, Kevin Durant was that, right? He was an alien, but Wemby is 5 inches taller. And at this stage of his career, not more skilled. Kevin Durant's a better offensive player. But Wemby is everything we wanted Kevin Durant to be defensively. Add 5 inches and just better. Just better. But I'm still going to say we got to see it. I'm not jumping the gun on any of these guys. If he wins this title, though, this is a great stepping stone to where he wants to be or where he could be. And it's exciting for the NBA. Knicks are really, truly undervalued unless you listened to my program and knew what the fuck was up. Listen to the NBA episode and find what it's all about. Mouth, don't give away too much, but do you have anything you want to tell to the people, a pick, a prediction? And they're going to listen to see why, if they're going to bet on it. But just what do you think is going to happen? Because I could go either way on this finals. Again, I haven't watched too much, but I just still read and pay attention. I watched basketball for a long time. Yeah, Kyle Williams is stuck in a very crowded room, and I like the player. It's just he's one of those like misfit toys players, right? We don't know where is he going to play, right? He's not playing X because you have AJ Brown. He's not a slot guy, so he's kind of a Y, and he's kind of a flanker, but that's going to be Romeo Dubs. So we'll see. You're fine, Don. You know what? This show celebrates America and celebrates freedom of speech. So I just want to keep it classy, and I don't like anyone taking cheap shots at anyone else. But I do appreciate you. You can say what you want. Anyone can say what they want. I can say what I want. That's what I love about this country. That's what I love about the show. That's what I love about every one of you. Knicks did have a pretty easy run, but what makes it kind of negated that it's easy, it was so dominant, right? They didn't squeak by these teams. They downright destroyed these teams. Jay already listened to the NBA show. He's been right on the money. He has been right on the money. Ooh, mouth. Knicks in 5. Woo-wee. Dakota, Knicks are 1-6 in playoff series versus Pacers since 95. Knicks are the luckiest team in NBA this year. See, we got people going. See, I'm just like right down the middle, like mostly because I really don't care too much about it, even though I love the NBA. So I love the passion on both ends, and I support that shit because I'm a pretty passionate person, especially in the bedroom, dude. I give it good. I give it good. There she is, right there. You gotta see her, but she's sleeping right now. I give it good. Derek thinks Knicks in 5 is a ridiculous take. I think it's going to go longer. Personally, I can't pick a winner. I'm not going to pick a winner because I don't want to go on record picking something I'm not really researching. If I had to pick, maybe I would take the Spurs because the best player in the series is on the Spurs. And the length, I watched some of Game 7 and all of the altered shots. And Jalen Brunson's so small. It's not just Wemby, guys. Castle is a monster. Harper is a monster. Keldon Johnson, even not the best defensive player, but they're just long, right? And Jalen Brunson's small. But Jalen Brunson knows how to create space with his body. And also knows how to flop. So he knows how to do that. If I were to have a take, I know the Knicks have had some time off and they struggle in game ones. You saw they were down 22 to the Cavs. I think an interesting bet would be to take the Knicks to win, the Knicks to lose game 1 but win the series. That would be an interesting bet. Knicks to lose game 1, but Knicks to win the series. So maybe a nice little sprinkle would be Knicks to lose game 1 and then Knicks in 6. I don't think it goes to 7. Knicks in 6. But I you know what? The Spurs could sweep them. I don't think the Knicks can sweep the Spurs because Wemby is going to have 2 games where he wills the team to victory if he stays out of foul trouble. I think there's a chance the Spurs sweep the Knicks. There's no chance the Knicks sweep the Spurs. I would probably take – I don't even know. I'm just trying to create shit out of thin air. I don't know, and I don't want to speak out of my depth, I suppose is how I'd say it. I wish. I used to play fantasy basketball religiously and watch all the Bulls games and watch a lot of NBA season pass, all that kind of shit. So I love the NBA, and the direction the NBA is going, I don't hate it as much as some people, but it's just hard when you're into the NFL so much. It's just a full-time job. Only shot the Knicks have is the NBA fix, so the Knicks have a great shot at winning. But yes, the Knicks is better. The Knicks as a franchise is more important than them winning than the Spurs. But Wemby winning is more important than any storyline you have for the Knicks, right? To have Wemby would become the face of the NBA, and the NBA needs a new face. LeBron's about to retire. Giannis has had some struggles, right? Luka's fat and out of shape and always injured. You have Jokic, who can't get out of the first round, apparently. Anthony Edwards was supposed to be that guy. You had Ja Morant a couple years ago as that possible guy. He is done. Zion Williamson had some hype. So it's like we need a face of the NBA. We need a new guy to take the throne. And Wemby is that dude. Even though he's not American. Again, no American can ever be good in basketball anymore. Like the best players. What was the number, guys? I think you guys would know. Was it 8 of the last 9 MVPs have been foreigners? Has been Europeans or from Canada? So I think Giannis is Giannis is an American. So who is the last American to win the MVP? Do we know who that is? It's been a long time since an American has won the MVP. I know it's like 8 out of 9 or 9 out of 10 or 7 out of 8. Because SGA is from Canada. Giannis is from Greece. Jokic is from some country over there. There's just not been any Americans winning this award. And Wemby is from France, right? And Larry Bird was from French Lick. I just drove through French Lick, actually, going down to Kentucky, and I asked my wife. She didn't know. I was like, what NBA player went here? I had to give her 3 hints, and then she said Larry Bird. So I give her that. If someone could fact check that before I get off, I am curious to see how many when's the last time American has won the MVP? And and that's even worse. That's not what we want represented. James Harden in 2018, and then Russell Westbrook in 2017, right? So it's been 7 years, and James Harden is not. James Harden win that was a bad MVP. So is Russell Westbrook's, but Jesus. So Mouth was on board with what I said. I think I said Knicks in 6, though. So he says, in my opinion, Rob, lose game 1 and Knicks in 5. That's my thoughts on the series exactly. Also, Dakota, the NBA needs Wemby to win. The Knicks are super gritty and aren't the face. Wemby is supposed to be the GOAT. Well, he has the GOAT talent, right? And they would love him to be on that trajectory. But yeah, I think the Knicks do struggle in game 1s, like I said, and I think that the Spurs could run out of gas, right? Because they've had longer series, and that series against the Thunder was a lot tougher than any series that the Knicks have played. Oh, hey-oh, French Lick. Yeah, I didn't actually check it out or anything. I just saw the sign, something about French Lick. I wanted to trivia my wife on that one. So that's an interesting bet to make. I think you can do all those kind of combinations, right? Obviously, you can do Knicks in 5. I wonder if you can do Knicks in 5, and you might have to separately bet the Spurs to win game 1. But do they have a line on that game yet? It's in San Antonio, so I'm guessing it's like Spurs minus 1.5 is my guess. Let me know if I can actually look it up. So it's tomorrow, right? Well, technically today. So it is Spurs minus 4.5. Wow. You know what? Cat showed me a little bit this year, and he's come a long way from. You guys remember the Jimmy Butler experience in Minnesota when he was trying to fight Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins in practice? He's like, these dudes don't have it. That was the crazy. Jimmy Butler's always been crazy. I love Jimmy Butler as a Bulls fan. I can't believe we let Jimmy Butler go. What a joke that is. What a competitor Jimmy Butler is. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be wild either way in New York because they love their Knicks, man. And they definitely hate the Nets. They love the Knicks and they hate the Nets. Yeah, Super Kitty. NBA needs money, and cashing in on New York making money makes sense in 2026. LeBron camp created media flop slander versus SGA. NBA fixed the last 2 games to keep SGA from back-to-back MVPs and back-to-back titles. Well, SGA is a flopper, dude. He is the definition. I mean, so is Brunson. Harden's the biggest flopper I've ever seen, but I would put those guys in the same camp. They learned it from Harden. I mean, Harden was the definition of a flopper. The getting fouled on 3-pointers and looking for fouls on 3-pointers is wild stuff. But come on. SGA is a total flop. SGA is a great player without the flopping, but the flopping. Brian for 240. I like AJ over Nico and London in drafts. Am I wildin'? AJ over London is wild. Drake London's target share. Now, we don't know the quarterback there, and I'd prefer him with Penix. The target share for Drake London is elite. And I get the Nico. I get AJ over Nico. I'm still not going to do that, but that makes sense. That's close for me. But London needs to be drafted in the middle of the second round. And Drake London's elite, dude. And last year, don't get fooled on the injuries. Drake London's a baller. Drake London's a badass. He is not an injury-prone player. He just plays really tough, and he got nicked up last year. We got Dakota, get off my lawn. Sir Gilgis, Floppus, and Floppin' Brunson. Thank God. They did not want that. It's bad. I watched Game 7, and SGA had a hell of a game. He was the only one that showed up, but it was he's just looking for contact, and sometimes I guess you got to do it, but every play, bro. The game is soft. It is soft. It's still a great game. I still enjoy watching basketball. I think I've had London the past 2 seasons. I need some new seasoning. London's been disappointing in the aggregate because of the injuries and some of the inconsistent stuff. And, Penix has just not been great. But Drake London has not put it all together yet. I think he could. A.J. Brown seems safer. It's A.J. Brown, right? But A.J. Brown did not look great last year. He looked like he lost a step. He looked a little chubby. And we'll see. New destination could help. And Drake May is elite in the deep ball. Very elite. SGA versus Harden would be the most unwatchable finals ever. Let's put now Russell Westbrook actually didn't flop, but he just was so erratic. But SGA versus Harden would be wild stuff. It will be entertaining. Can't blame Harden when the refs literally awarded him. And again, that very valid from Brian. Like, why not do it if the refs are going to give you these calls and almost encourage it? Might be the wrong word, but why not do it? I just think I don't know. They need to figure something out about this flopping thing and embarrass the players more by doing it when it's uncalled for, right? Like, sometimes you need to exaggerate a call. I understand that, but kicking your leg out on 3-pointers, and I hate the pump fake jump into it. Like, I hate that when they jump into the guy. I don't like that. I get it. You don't leave your feet, but if you're not making a move to make the basket, that's my biggest thing. If you're not actually trying to make the and one and make the basket, I don't like that play, right? It's fine to, if you do get hit, to kind of exaggerate the contact if you're trying to actually convert the field goal, which is that's the way the NBA should be played. That's the way basketball should be played. When you're just literally doing it to get to the free throw line. And I think the one nice thing about LeBron is he's scared to shoot free throws. And he didn't do that because he's not a good free throw shooter. And he crumbles. I'm a big LeBron fan, but now if LeBron was a 90% free throw shooter like some of these other guys, he probably would have done it. Who knows? But he never really did that because he didn't want to go to the free throw line. He actually tried to make the layup or make the float or whatever it is, and then he'd miss his and one. Little shout at LeBron for you guys. Garland for Harden was so stupid by the Cavs. They were trying to win now, and it was smart for win now. I'm not a big Darius Garland guy. I don't know. He's just undersized. He doesn't work with Donovan Mitchell. But I think we all assume Donovan Mitchell's gone. Now, I think Donovan Mitchell might go. He could go to the Celtics maybe. I think the noise was he was going to go to the Knicks. Not anymore. The Knicks have their team. JD, the Rams were my Super Bowl favorite before signing Garrett, before the Garrett trade. So definitely Super Bowl favorites. The only issue with that is they might have a hard time winning their division. They're favorites, but you still have to play against the Seahawks, and you're never counting out the 49ers. Never, ever, ever. Pretty good young player. How old is Darius Garland? Like 25? Brian, ETN by a mile, dude. ETN is currently ADP 31, so middle of the third round. Bucky is a 5th-round pick. So, like, by ADP, it's ETN. Kamara's probably not coming back, or if he does, it's going to be in a very, very secondary role, and he's dusty last year. Bucky Irving has a 3-way committee. Now, the offense is probably better with the Bucks, but do we know that? So, it's ETN, and I think Bucky might be a better player than ETN, but the situation is not great for Bucky. He still has a shoulder injury right now. Like, he had the mental health stuff last year that kept him out extra games. Like, out on Bucky until he goes to the end of the 5th round. I'm kind of not Luke. I'm kind of in on ETN in the middle of the 3rd round. I'm not loving it. I think it's a little too pricey, but definitely ETN in a vacuum over Bucky. 10% chance MVP that Aaron Donald comes back. I think so. Dude, ESPN, that's why I do like playing. I have 3 home leagues I play at ESPN, but that's my most lowest used platform. ESPN ADPs are tripping, and I like to play some ESPN. I like to play different platforms too because I would get values on players that I wouldn't normally draft. And the thing is, if you're playing in a smart room, people aren't really looking at ADP, but it's literally like, I'm trying to think of the word, like, it's human nature to look at ADP and be like, I'm reaching on this guy based on the platform, right? I don't do that. I have my own ADP. I go off my own rankings, and like, I will only draft based on ADP because I'm trying to get a guy later, right? If I think I have 2 guys and I'm like, well, I want this guy over, let's say I wanted Brian Thomas over Marvin Harrison as my wide receiver 3, and I was going to take one in the next round. And I had Marvin Harrison ranked higher, but Brian Thomas was ranked higher 10 spots on ADP. I will take the ADP player because I think there's a better chance that the guy lower will fall back to me, even if I had it ranked differently. That's the only time I will draft based on ADP as like a tiebreaker if I'm trying to draft the guy in the next round. Other than that, I take my guys. Garland is 26. Okay. Yeah, Garland's just a bad defender, dude. He gets some steals. From what I've seen, Garland's undersized. He's just not a good defender. Now, James Harden's the worst defender. I'm not saying that, but Garland's fine. He's good. I think it was a good trade for both teams. So apparently Bucky is going the same range as ETN. So that's why I got to draft some ETN then for sure. Let's see. Yeah, the Rams they actually did lose to the Panthers at the end of the regular season. They should have lost that wild card game for sure. But the talent level is like the Rams are just so deep and just win now. The Seahawks just won the Super Bowl. The Niners would be the favorite in almost every other division in football, just based on the culture they have, the coaching staff they have, just the team they have around them. But a lot of people don't believe in Brock Purdy, I think. I'm a Brock Purdy believer. I have the MVP bet on him. But that's why. If you watched those games last year, Dakota, which I know you did, those were the 3 closest games, the 3 best games in football, like 3 of the top 10 games in football. So they were all one-score games. So those teams are so closely – last year were so closely – like they were very competitive. So the Rams got much better this year in the offseason. The Seahawks got a little worse. I don't think there's any way you can debate that because the Rams they addressed their warts. And the Seahawks lost some pieces in the secondary. They lost Kenneth Walker. The Rams didn't really lose a thing. St. Brown is probably the safest pick. I think CeeDee Lamb is also up there, but CeeDee Lamb tends to get a little nicked up, and there's George Pickens there. Amon-Ra is so safe. My worry with St. Brown is the touchdown percentage, and his touchdown numbers are just so sky high. But tied to Jared Goff, tied to Dan Campbell and that Lions offense. Should be good there. I don't think 14 touchdowns is we cannot assume that. He's really good in the red zone because they use him in so many different ways. But super safe. Kraft is a good – where is Kraft going? Like 10-5. He's going 10-5 on underdog. What did you think of my last 4 picks in Dynasty? I think that those were essentially your picks that you would have taken, guys like that, in your 2027, 2028 rookie drafts. You took your rookie draft picks now, which makes a lot of sense. And I think a lot of guys are doing that, but you really dove into that in terms of guys that are going to be nothing burgers this year, but you don't need them to be. If you need those guys this year, Mouth, your team's done, which is a smart strategy, right? Like don't play for the fact that McCaffrey could get hurt or Mike Evans could get hurt or, CeeDee Lamb gets hurt again, something like that. You got to play for the now. And that's what you're doing. And you also have to play for the future, which you're doing with your young guys. So definitely agreed with your last 4 picks. And I'm a big DM Burks guy. I really like him. I can't believe he was a 7th round pick. Can't believe it. Appreciate that, Brian. TB, you think Aaron Donald will come out in retirement to play for the Rams? I said 10% chance. 10% chance is my guess for that, and that might be a little high. I mean, we always hear these reports. It's also June, and just it makes sense now because it's all the excitement about what happened with Myles Garrett, which they should be excited about. I don't think they need him, honestly. I don't think they need him. He'd be fine, though. I think me and Storey agreed that he'd be a top 12 defensive tackle if he came and played this year. And I think we also agreed he's in better shape than Brandon Ayuk. Niners definitely got better, dude. I'm not saying they didn't. I love the Mike Evans pickup. They're going to be healthier than last year as well. I mean, getting Fred Warner and Bosa back, like that was without Warner and Bosa last year, which are the 2 best players, not only on your defense, 2 of the best players in the NFL at defense. So, dude, I love the Niners. You don't got to tell me. Well, if you wait a little bit, Dakota, the odds will change because now people are going to bet more on the Rams, and I think the Seahawks are already obviously getting bet on over them. So wait a week, wait a month. I think the Niners will get to 20-1. I think that's the case. So I would wait. It's not going to go down. The Niners won't go down to 15-1. So I would wait on that one. But yeah, do it. Teams losing against their division rival is going to happen, and also his second year with Darnold in Seattle. Teams have plenty teams have plenty of film on how Seattle likes to use them. Yeah, there's always that. I mean, I do believe in Darnold now. I was kind of hesitant before, but I do. But Seattle, they lost a lot. They did not like major stuff. I think Seattle and Jacksonville are two teams that are worse. Now, Seattle was so much better than every other team last year. Their best game, and I was saying it the whole year, their best game is they're the best team in football, and they can afford to lose a little bit, but it's going to put more on Darnold's shoulders, which is fine. I think Darnold's capable. But is Sam Darnold capable of doing a Mahomes, doing a Josh Allen? We'll see. Because last year they won with Sam Darnold. This year they're going to have to win because of Sam Darnold. That's going to be a bigger part of the pie. Dakota, my goal is to have $500 in Niners to win the Super Bowl this year. I mean, it's a weird goal to have because it's really up to you. I mean, I don't love betting on my team, and maybe that's because my team's the Bears. I bet with my head, and I think that you're a pretty smart dude, that you're not just betting with your heart. I think you're also betting with your head. I just like to avoid. I'm not saying it's a homer pick. I try to avoid doing that kind of stuff personally. But I obviously, I have my Brock Purdy 20-1 bet. That's one of the few future bets I have already. And I am very comfortable with that, which will go a long way with, obviously, they're going to win a lot of games for him to win MVP. Brian, are we closing the window on Sharps taking the RB1 spot to start the season? I've been taking him late in draft, solid player. No, dude, I'm not a price guy. So in my mind, it's a 50-50 split at best for price when Sharps comes back. So I think it's a 50-50 split early in the year with Price and Emmanuel Wilson personally. And I think George Holane is a fine player. They trusted him in the Super Bowl. So those are very important reps for Holane. So no, I love Sharps. It's just, you got to wait, and you got to have an IR spot in your league to take him. I'm not sitting him on my bench unless it's deep benches, or if I don't have an IR spot, I'm going to fade him a couple rounds past ADP. Dude, ESPN, Kraft is going under Goddard and Ferguson. ESPN, pick 120. So I can go to Underdog right now, and this is kind of what I go off. This is the drafts I do right now. Tucker Kraft is tight end 5, 81 ADP. We have Dallas Goddard is going tight end 15, and Ferguson is going tight end 11. So that is kind of the money. The thing is, Brian, unfortunately, when you're looking at ESPN, the problem with ESPN, why ESPN's ADP is so bad historically, is ESPN is the most popular platform and the new platform, right? The novice platform. So you get a lot of free leagues. ESPN is the master of these free leagues. I don't trust a single thing. It's like a mock draft. That's why I don't do mock drafts. I don't trust anything on a free league because you got clowns in there, kids playing, and just morons. So that's why the ADP of ESPN is so wacky. It's always skewed. Yahoo's sharper. Sleeper's even sharper than that. I play a lot of fan tracks. So, yeah, ESPN, you get a lot of good values because the ADP is average draft position based on real drafts. But they're not differentiating money drafts and free drafts, right? So that's where the value is. I don't hate ESPN. I just don't like – I won't commission league in ESPN. You have less control commission tools. And I just don't like the format personally. But I like some of the value, like you said. I don't act like the Niners don't exist. I love them for fantasy, and I think they're a value, man. They're a value. Underdog's pretty sharp. It is pretty sharp. It's definitely a lot sharper than ESPN. All right, we did 3 hours tonight, guys, and Storey's been gone for an hour 20. I did the last hour 20 solo. I hope I did pretty well by myself. I've had about 12 beers, so great show as always. Tomorrow night, guys, the Chaz is joining us we're going to talk Dynasty. We're going to talk NFL futures. We're going to answer all your questions. We're probably going to do an Underdog draft live on the show. And then Thursday, Mike Storey is coming back to join me. We're doing the NFC East fantasy breakdown, divisional breakdown. And then Friday, probably do some drafts, maybe have a guest on. Saturday, Big Ray is coming on for Open Bar. I haven't seen Big Ray in a while. And Sunday, I'm definitely going to set aside for just some drafts. So I'll be on every single night as usual. You will see me. And we are sharp mouth. We are very sharp. Caleb over Mahomes for sure, right? Chiefs did get the enemy back, but not sure. Yeah, Caleb over Mahomes. As you guys know that I I do love Patrick Mahomes this year, but I'm still taking Caleb over Mahomes. But I think Mahomes is very good value. So very good value. Yep, the man, the myth, the legend, Chaz. Chaz is back for his Wednesday spot now. He missed like 4 straight weeks. He just graduated Kentucky. He's the young gun on the show. Congratulations to Chaz again for graduating with honors, I believe, from Kentucky, something I never did. Clearly, I'm doing this show. Did not have my degree, but I got a degree in fantasy and in penises, so I got that going for me, dudes. Got it going. As in, haven't we earned one? Lock in for 4 hours, brother. Let's see. 2, 4, 9, 11, 13. Yeah, we did. We did earn one. I got to set everything up. Do you guys really want to do one? I will do one. You know what? I am a man of my word. Dual degree. Yeah, dual degree for sure. I had to set up a separate stream though, because I don't have I didn't set this one up for Underdog. So if you guys want to, Dakota, Mouth, if you guys want to, I will set up another stream. We will do a draft. I will do that if you guys want to. I don't give a shit. What do I got going on? So you let me know. If you want to draft, I will draft. So you let me know. I will. It'll be about 5 or 10 minutes for me, and I don't have to hit the bathroom. Let me know. I will do one. Mouth, if you want to, we will do one. We will do it.
Hey, you ever accidentally masturbate to young pictures of your mom? Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Yeah, it's Mouth's call. Brian's down to chat more. Brian, you should definitely look into getting into the community, get in our Discord chat. This show goes on after the show. We have about 45 or 50 people in there. It's always pretty active. Right now, it's been a little light because we did our Dynasty startup. So that's a little light in terms of because we're all chatting. All the OGs are in there. It's all the co-hosts and then 9 of the biggest super fans. But the Discord's where we're all talking all the time. All these questions, posting pictures, posting GIFs, posting shirtless selfies, which I fucking love. Definitely would love to have you in there, man. Go to the website. Go to the link in the description. Hop in the Patreon. Get in the Discord. I'll send you an invite and join our fine community of people. So, the puppy thing, the earning the free puppy is already gone, but we can do a puppy. I think we can do a puppy. We can't earn them, but we can do one. Yeah. All right, we're Mouth and I'm in. Mouth. I'm a man of the people. Definitely a man of mouth. So we will hop in an Underdog draft here. I got to start a new stream though because I got to get the rest of my gear set up. I didn't have my second computer set up, so I have to do that first. So Brian, if you want to hop in the other stream, you sub so you'll get the notification. We'll do that here and give me 10 minutes. I'll set it for 150. I'll probably be on a little before that, 150 Central. So we will have that all set up and we'll do a puppy and maybe have some better drafts than we had last night. So other than that, appreciate Storey for coming on. Everyone chatting with us. We'll see you in 10 minutes for another quick little live stream. We'll do a puppy. Brian, good to talk to you, man. Having you in here. Everyone else, appreciate you guys. Thank you. Love your life. Stay positive and respect each other. I'm out for 10 minutes. I'll see you soon.
You just seem like a good dude. I thought I'd see if you want to grab a beer, that's all. I'm glad you called. We get home safe, Pistol.
You got it, Jobin.
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing.
Oh, what'd you say?
I don't know. You nicknamed me Pistol, and I just called you Jobin. It means nothing. I'm drunk. I'm gonna call a cab.
All right, man. You have my number, yeah?
I got you stored in my iPhone.